What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a very, very special edition of Intel Live. We are live from the NRG Castle at the night market. This place is incredible, and whoa, you are not Alex.
Not Alex.
You are not Alex.
Also
you
not
are
Alex.
close to Alex.
Yeah, kind of
you
similar.
have a beard.
Yeah, could be.
And you have way too much hair.
Way too short as well.
way
to
too
be
short.
Alex, for
but
sure.
I am super, super excited here because today, guys, we are going to do something absolutely incredible. But I can't just say you're not Alex and not let you actually introduce you. That would be super rude, am I right? You know what I mean? You need to be able to let people introduce yourself. So, Trisha, I know you.
Yes, so Roby and I have been friends for a while, but I feel like we're live in so many different places that maybe we should just all run down. So let's start on this side.
Oh,
Who are you, sir?
That's a good point. Okay, so I just pretend. But if you've never seen Intel Live before, my name is Justin Roby, aka Roby Tech. I am a tech tuber and tech enthusiast YouTuber and influencer. I do a ton of stuff with all sorts of different people, but I love the joy of PC building and techs and helping people basically build the PCs they want. They think of me as like the dad of PC building, with the dad bod and everything. You know what I mean? That's
love
just
that.
the way it goes. You know what I'm saying?
I will say Roby is my phone a friend whenever I'm doing a PC build, and I'm like, I just can't get these fans to mount right. Roby.
What's going on, Trisha? Okay.
So that happens
That
very
does, that
regularly.
does.
For those of you that don't know me, hi, my name's Trisha Hirschberger, and I normally speak on camera about tech and video games and all types of fandom entertainment. I'm a big Lord of the Rings nerd, big Star Wars nerd. I collect toys. So really all of the things in that genre. But today, I'm very excited to talk new tech with you two.
By the way, I just, if you guys really want to know something that's really awesome about Trisha, she actually has a legit hidden room in her house with a bookcase that is hidden. There's like a room behind it. Like, she put that in her house. So when you want to take like the level of nerd, you know what I mean? Like, there are those of us who pose, and then there are those of us who are legit nerds. So
I mean,
let me give it,
my medieval tavern in my house is called the Dragon's Hoard.
Yes.
So I live the life I speak. But it's not just Roby and I up here
No,
on
it's
stage.
not.
Taylor.
My name's Taylor. I'm a technical product expert at Intel, and I'm really excited to be on stream with you guys and talk about all the exciting stuff.
It's going to be, I'm so glad that we have Taylor here too, because so much of this tech is brand new today that we're talking about.
And I think when I said that we have an extra special day, I'm not even kidding, because the other thing too is not only are we streaming to those of you on discord.gg/Intel, twitch.tv/Intel, YouTube, and all those places, but we actually have a live studio audience. Most of them are asleep, which is pretty typical. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're not. But we are not only this, we are doing a live studio audience as well. But the other thing, too, that is actually super cool is we are announcing something new today.
Yes.
It is nothing that anybody has heard of. Maybe some people basically got a little bit of the news yesterday.
Yep.
But guys, if you guys want to get the 411, this is the place to do it.
This is the place to do it. So what else is happening today, Roby? We're going to get the 411 on the new tech.
We are going to get the 411 on the new tech. The other thing too is that not only that are we're also going to be doing the world first. I got corrected on this. The world first live PC build using this new technology. So you're going to see that, and it will post, because I don't
Always.
put PCs that post,
This
right?
guy builds so often. Like I said, he's the phone a friend when you have a PC build question.
Yes.
I'm
we'll
very. Find out. It depends on how it turns out,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know?
Oh, Taylor throwing some shade already.
I love it.
And then the other thing too is that we are also going to be talking to partners who have these systems ready to roll out, right? You're seeing a little hint on the box there. We got Taylor, the expert. I know he's not Alex. We're getting him into like Planet Fitness so he can bulk up like Alex. You know what I mean? Like, all in all, like we need another buff, our next buff guy.
I'm not already similar enough, huh?
Well, you do have facial hair, so I mean, like we might have to get rid of that.
That's true.
But we're also going to be talking to iBuyPower. We got MSI. We got ThermalTake. We got all sorts of people who are essentially doing that stuff as well. So it's going to be super, super cool. We have a whole room of amazing people. So not only do we have us talking, but we have so many guests on this show.
Yes. Like you said, MSI, ThermalTake, iBuyPower, CyberPC. It's going to be a packed show today. Plus, we'll be building a PC with some of that new tech that we'll be talking about today. And a couple of you out there watching, whether you're watching in our live studio audience here at the night market or whether you're watching at home on all of the various places that we're streaming right now, you have a chance to win some of this new tech. So that's very, very exciting. Roby has actually designed a special game everyone can play along with the show today to help you enter for a chance to win. Roby, how's it work?
This is the part that I'm super excited about, guys. And if you are here in the studio, if you are basically at home, here's what needs to happen, guys. There is a link, and if you can find them around here, there's QR codes, all that sort of stuff. There is a bingo game. And the way that this essentially works is you scan it, or you basically load it up on your web browser, and you will get a bingo card. Now, this bingo card is unique to you. And as we talk about things here on the show, you essentially will get indications of the fact that you can basically win at bingo. So like, say for instance, I might, let's test it right now. I might say Arrow Lake, you know what I mean? That's a bingo space on some of your cards. You will get to confirm that, and then if you get a bingo, you are basically entered to win one of our 3 big prize packs. So the 3 big prize packs. Now, the one thing is that—
Oh, look, they're up on screen.
Yeah, there they are up on screen. So you can win build packs. Like of course, we're PC builders, we love it. We got build packs with the new, we got the new Core Ultra 9 desktop CPU, the Core Ultra 7, and Z890 boards to match.
I was going to say, you need the matching board. That's awesome.
And we also have 3 available Intel Live swag kits. So what you do is, all you're going to do is you're going to want to watch, and as you're watching, basically enter to basically follow along to do bingo. Now, here's some people might be saying, I'll just open 50 bingo cards. We're smarter than that, guys. Basically, it's 1 bingo card per entry, right? So all you have to do, you don't have to try and manage 50 bingo cards. The cool thing is that as these things happen, you'll get a little confirmation on screen. You just have to confirm, and you're basically good to go. Now, these prizes are open to US, Canada, and Mexico, so that as well. But we also are giving away a Falcon Northwest system that is worldwide, and there's a link for that, so you'll see links for that as well. So we not only do we have our US, Canada, and Mexico folks, but all worldwide, and it's a beautiful Falcon Northwest system that if you want to go check it out, we'll have a link for that and stuff as well.
So I just want to say, because I know people are watching this in a variety of different places, if you couldn't get that QR code, I believe it is intellivebingo.com.
That is right, intellivebingo.com.
Intellivebingo.com, and if you're having a hard time seeing the giveaway links, if you're on twitch.tv/Intel, they should all be posting there.
Now, put your real name and put your real email address, because if you don't do those, that's how we can confirm. We're not going to obviously say the full name on stream. We will be announcing the winners on the stream, but please make sure you put in your real name and your real email address so we can confirm and you get those, and we will ship those out later on when the product is released. So,
all right, I'm giggling because some folks in chat are saying that there might be so many people trying to access bingo right now that they're having a hard time getting in. Be patient, we will figure it out, and we see you in chat, so thank you.
And don't worry, guys, there'll be multiple chances throughout the whole thing, so even if you didn't start right at the beginning, it will basically be good and loading. So very, very excited about that, our premiere of Intel Bingo, and it's super, super cool. Now, are we ready to actually talk about the cool stuff?
Poor Taylor's been standing over here, and he's like, yes, bingo, this is all so fun, but let's talk about Arrow Lake, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah. Intel Core Ultra 200S series.
Well, we didn't know that.
We didn't know that ahead of time.
All we had was the rumors.
It could be. It's a big change, right, from our previous naming, conventions, and and it's a brand new processor. So with a bunch of really cool technology and really a remake of how we make these gaming processors. So we're excited to talk about it today.
So just for anyone that hasn't heard it yet, the official name:
Intel Core Ultra 200S series.
Okay.
If you're wondering
series.
what the
100S
S
series.
stands for,
What does the S stand for?
socketed.
Oh, really?
Desktop.
Because
Yeah.
these are
that makes
desktops.
sense.
Because they're desktops.
Okay, so
Yeah, there you
these
go.
are the desktop ones. And so that makes way more sense when you basically, I was wondering what the S actually stood
Socketed.
for. Okay,
Yep.
so
Okay.
when we think about the goal of why you guys did this, because like you said, this is a new architecture. I think a lot of people came up and were probably like, we're looking forward to 15th gen or whatever it
Yes.
was, but
Yeah.
this is all new.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so the way that we assemble processors, we're actually going to cover that in a bit, but we have our goals for this processor were to reduce the power consumption by 40%. And really, in some scenarios, we're seeing more than that,
Okay.
more than 40%. We wanted to deliver 15% multi-thread performance, gen on gen, deliver incremental single thread while maintaining gaming performance. But we're doing that while, really slashing down on, CPU temperatures, power consumption, adding all of these features, not to mention everything else, the new AI accelerator, and you know, the new integrated graphics, et cetera, et
Okay.
cetera. There's just a lot to talk about here.
There
Okay.
is so much to talk
There
about today.
is so much to talk about, and so let's start at the top, and we're going to talk about the stack a little bit later on. But at the same time, you talk about, you know, there's new parts of this. Like number one, all in all, like we were used to how the die was on the older Intel Core 14th gens and stuff like that.
Yep.
How is the architecture different? Like what has essentially changed? What are we looking at here? And then why is power efficiency? Why is all this stuff so important?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're able to make your processor more efficient, well, first of all, you know, we're seeing temperatures during gaming 13 up to 15, 17 degrees cooler.
Wow, okay, so quite a bit cooler.
I mean, really a lot, yeah. Power consumption, 50, 80 watts lower. So it's a cooler, it's a quieter, and it also means that for gaming, because it runs so much cooler, they are able to stay in those higher boost states, those higher frequency states for longer because it does run cooler.
Okay.
So there's some really cool technology that went into this, not to mention, all the other pieces that we were just talking about.
I love that you brought up that it's cooler because I feel like a lot of people, when they think a more efficient system, they think like, okay, I'm being enviro friendly, or maybe if I'm building something that's smaller form factor, that's important. But to have it be cooler, especially for the streamers and content creators out there, since we are in the NRG spectrum castle, I think that's very important to bring up.
But it's more than that too, because a lot of times people get nervous even a little bit. Yeah, and okay, so we did want to give a little update. If you guys are having issues with bingo, please disable your ad blocker.
There it is.
There it is right there. So if you can do that, that's how you go in there and get in on that. I know people are excited. We love that you guys are into it. Just disable your ad blocker. But what we don't want to disable is performance on these things. So even though they're more efficient,
Right.
Yes.
they're not less performant. That's the thing that going in, because a lot of people sit there and say like, oh, well, that just means that I'm getting less with my CPU, but that is not true in the case of this.
So like if you compare it from an architectural level, right, we have a whole new architecture for our performance cores and our efficient cores. If you run them both at the same frequency, the P cores, performance cores, about 9% faster.
Okay.
E cores, about 32%
Wow,
faster. So it's really a
32%
big
faster?
jump.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll see as we kind of talk through this and on the new product stack, there's no more hyper-threading, right? Because we found that it was beneficial to shift the incremental effort, that incremental hardware to support hyper-threading and move it to the E-cores.
Okay.
Really? So you're able to just achieve higher multi-thread throughput. And you could see that as we kind of talk about how these new CPUs. Okay, so it's an Intel Core Ultra CPU. What does that mean? This is a major part of it, right? It's how we manufacture the CPUs. So you have all of these individual tiles, right? So you have a GPU tile. So we're able to take very similar architecture that exists in Arc and bring it to our Intel Core Ultra 200S series. So you're able to get a lot of those really high-end encoders and technology, right? You're able to do the same for the SoC tile. We're able to make the SoC tile more efficient, use less power, right? And we're able to take a compute tile and really just be able to crank out the best performance per watt that we can. So it's really, a really cool approach to how we're building processors going forward.
Okay.
And then we have more than just that as well, because I know we talked about P cores and E cores, but the other thing too, and I know that this is kind of like the verbiage that everybody's talking about, but this also has an MPU on it as well.
Right.
Yes, and that's and it's different than what we have seen from like when we've talked about MPUs. How is that different than what we talk about from a mobile standpoint, and then now with a desktop MPU?
Yeah, so when we think really like about the more holistic AI picture, so the MPU, of course, is a major part of it. But there's also the integrated GPU and the CPU. It's really these three pieces combined are what make it an AI PC. And we're excited to bring a lot of these usages, and we'll talk some about the really cool usages that that we're bringing with this new AI accelerator. Right? We quantify it as TOPS, right? So the MPU has 13 TOPS. This is going to be a lot of the terminology that we're going to be working with going forward, right? It stands for trillions of operations per second.
Right.
So these are extremely efficient unit for being able to do these AI workloads with absolutely minimal impact to thermals or power, because it's really purpose-built for these AI workloads.
And I know a lot of people think it's funny because they're like they feel like some of this stuff, especially as we talk about AI PCs, like AI is not something that is impacting us. But believe it or not, you use AI more than you would actually believe, especially if you are a gamer. gamers and especially are using AI a lot. And the other thing too is that nowadays, as things with stable diffusion and all those other things, there is a lot that you can actually do that we've actually started to play with even a little bit with at the Robotech side that you do want to do that you might want to do with your own private models, your own stable diffusions, things that you can do without actually having to use cloud or have your information and stuff get out there. But you actually have a really cool example we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. So if you might be sitting there and saying like, what is AI, guys? We have some stuff that's later on in the show that will definitely get you excited about. Now, I know that we've already kind of started diving into this, but why don't we start at the tippy top with some Q&A. Let's really just kind of dive in and walk through this, guys. Because the thing is every time that you launch like a new architecture, anytime that you launch a new chip, especially something that is innovative and different than what we have typically seen from you guys, like in terms of from the desktop space, we kind of want to start and walk them through in a very stair-step manner. And then after that, we can start talking about all of the CPUs and that might be good for you. And don't worry, we will talk about AI, AIOs, because I know a lot of people are like, pretty like, will mine fit and stuff like that.
Right.
But starting with this one, can we just go over what sets these CPUs apart from the previous gen chips?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so as I said, it's a whole new architecture.
Yep.
So new P-core architecture, new E-core architecture, the way that we assemble them, the feature set as far as, being able to, have the NPU, new integrated GPU. Also, we have integrated Thunderbolt, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So you'll see Thunderbolt across a wide range of stack, especially for creators like yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's 40 gigabit. So there's just a ton of really cool features that are really spanning, beyond just strict gaming performance. It's really a platform-based approach.
So it's a total departure from
Yeah,
what we've seen before.
Definitely. Hence the name, right? Intel Core Ultra, right?
Right. Okay, and now you've mentioned the new P cores and the new E cores. What exactly are they doing differently, and how is this going to affect, say, the average everyday consumer's use?
And understand, they were saying in chat, they're like, the P cores need to be updated and the E cores need to be updated. Guys, they have been updated.
It's true.
They
Yeah,
are different.
They're brand
right?
new.
Yeah, we're going from there. So I love that you asked that question, but chat, we see you. And we're answering your questions, okay? So
That's
Dave,
true. Chat questions welcome.
Chat questions welcome. So yeah, let's talk about that for her question. Yeah.
What was the question, sir?
So my question
yeah,
was,
yeah,
I know
Well, that's my fault. Sorry.
we've talked about new P cores and
Yeah.
new E cores, but what exactly is different about them now with the Intel Core Ultra 200S series processors? And how is that going to affect your everyday user that's just firing up
These
their
folks
PC?
right here, right? Yeah, these ones out here are staying with us. Yeah, doing the peace signs, all that. We got. Yeah, I mean, they're all very excited. Look at him. He's smiling. One guy's smiling. Okay, a couple others are smiling now because I brought up the joke. But yeah, we're going from there. How does it affect them?
Yeah, so I mean, with our P and E core based approach, really it's your games, your things that are really critical to be running in a more single thread type nature. They end up on your P cores,
Okay.
and our P cores, as I was saying, they've gotten what we say they've gotten wider, right? They've gotten more performant, right? So for the same amount of frequency, they've gotten more performance. Right, and the E-cores as well, right? They've gotten a lot more performance. So much so that we're seeing. So when you do like multi-thread workloads, it's across P-cores, E-cores, all of them, right? And that's where we're seeing that 15, 19, somewhere in that range uplift in multi-thread performance.
And that's the thing that people don't understand is a lot of time people don't think of. They think of cores as just like, you know what I mean? All in all, it's like, oh, well, it's just, did they make them bigger? But all in all, like wider and all that sort of stuff, that's the amount of instructions we can actually get through as well, right? Which, guys, believe it or not, that instructions per clock is probably the most important thing that in terms of just showing overall performance, especially from a single-threaded standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we're, with the onset goals that we had for this platform of achieving multi-thread, improved single-thread, much lower power consumption, we've really, knocked it out of the ballpark to the goal. So we're really excited for Intel Core Ultra 200S series and how it's turned out.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I would love to know what the Intel Core Ultra series, 200S series, what they're doing differently in terms of memory. Because I know you kind of teased that at the beginning.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah. So we're able to achieve higher frequencies. So essentially, when it comes to memory overclocking and achieving, higher than, so last generation, we say in-spec. So these are non-overclocked memory DIMMs. 5600, right?
Right.
This generation, 6400.
Wow,
And you're
okay.
like, okay, all right, whatever. I had 6400 before, so what's the difference? Well, memory overclocking, really works on the combined margin, right? There's, in the same way that your cores have an overclocking headroom, there's margin in memory, right? Between the memory DIMMs themselves having headroom to overclock, the motherboard, and the CPU. So by signaling that the CPU is going from 5600 non-overclocked, non-elevated voltages to 64, it means that you will be able to achieve higher frequencies on memory and more stably.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and the other thing too is like, so we've talked a little bit about it. We now called it Core Ultra Series, Core Ultra Series S, which is the socket one, the 200S. But let's talk about the new naming convention. Why the change? What's going on there? Like, and all in all, like, give us the 411 on like why the new naming convention.
Yeah. So we've of course talked about why Intel Core Ultra. Of course, 200 series, you may be, okay, well, this is the first desktop product, so it's, all right, so why is it 200? Well, actually, we had Intel Core Ultra on mobile last generation that we launched the end of last year. So that was the 100 series, right? The first generation. So this is the second generation of that. Of course, since then, we've scaled the performance quite a bit, and of course, we've scaled it up in frequency and core count to the types of things that people expect to have a killer desktop processor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, we're going to talk about more when we look at the actual SKUs, right? How to kind of break down the new SKU naming, because it really is different.
Yeah, it really is different. It took me, I don't know about you, but it took me a little while to actually start getting used to how it was. And then let's talk about how many different CPUs are we looking at that are coming out with this gen?
Got 5 new processors.
5 new processors.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep. These are these are the unlocked, right? So these are the K SKU, the higher performing variants with the Z890 chipset.
Okay, and now these new processors just became available for pre-order yesterday. Is
Right.
that correct?
That's right.
And when will they actually ship? When can people get them?
October 24th.
October
24th
Okay.
at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay, at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
As exact as I can be.
I love that you have all of the information tailored.
wow,
This is why
8
you're
a.m.
here.
Like he's got it down to the second. And that's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Pacific
That's
Daylight
it.
Time.
Yep.
PT? I don't know.
Bro, B.
Yeah, you're.
I just wanted people want to know.
So mean.
That's
The
what
The
they want
time
to
that
know.
we're in right now?
You know what? I heard someone ask it in chat, or I saw someone ask it in chat a little earlier about the new naming conventions, and I just wonder if we can go over that. I think we have a graphic to take a look at that. Just to break it down for us, because
Right,
you
yeah,
mentioned
for sure.
it, people in chat were asking. Let's go ahead and see what we've got.
So this is the stack, and we're gonna dive into the stack a little bit later. But at least this way, what you can see is these are the 5 processors, as you can see, plus the pricing. And like you said, these are 8 a.m. We'll talk a little bit more about each one going in there. But we have the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. This is your 24 core. You have your Intel Core Ultra 7 265K. That's your 20 core. You have the KF, which is the one without the GPU. That is, but it still has an NPU.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
so it still has an NPU. That is also 20 core. And then you have your 245, which is your Intel Core Ultra 5. That's your 14. And again, $589 for the top end, as little as $294 for your F SKU, Core Ultra 5. And I will say the one thing that did help is with Meteor Lake and Lunar Lake, which we started to see Core Ultra kind of show up there. But these ones are the S for socketed, which I don't know, man. I love that I have new information here. I was like, where does the S come from? So there we go.
Well, and that's so interesting too, because really when you break it down, so I know there's a lot of folks that maybe you haven't done a lot of building, maybe you're looking to build for the first time with this, and you're trying to figure out what this naming convention is, right? Intel is our corporate brand, Core Ultra is the product brand, then 5, 7, or 9 are your performance tiers, correct, Taylor?
Yep.
Then we've got the generation is the first number, that's the 2
That's
in the
right,
200.
right.
Then we've got the product SKU, which in this case is our 45, 65, or 85.
Right. 85 Ultra 9,
There we
65
go.
Ultra 7,
Okay,
45
and
Ultra
then
5.
You have to
suffix
color-
on the end
yeah, you
is
have to
our
color
S
me impressed
socket.
because I didn't even know that. So that's what the
Yes.
product SKU is. That's where the 85, the 65, and the 45 come from.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, basically, guys, we will talk a little bit about, I know people are asking just for performance stuff like that. Again, I do want to talk a little bit about performance because people are talking about gaming performance right there. This is on par, right? And that was important that
Yes.
you guys had talked about from a gaming standpoint with the last 14th gen CPUs. Let's talk a little bit about when you guys looked at this stuff, you guys were saying, and I'd rather you say it in there, but you were saying, I want this in gaming, we went higher this and higher this, right? Like
Yep.
that's what you're saying. These are not, we're not saying these are less powerful.
No,
They are.
it's a flagship gaming
Exactly.
CPU.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead, give him the pitch, right?
Yeah.
right to the camera.
Yeah.
This is the pitch from Taylor, guys, so you can understand. Because I feel like I'm watching you guys on stream. There's a lot of misinformation already, and we want to clear it up. We got the expert. He's not as buff as Alex, but we're gonna get him there.
So the processor, 50 to 80 watts. Less power.
Right.
15 degrees cooler. Average 13, 15, somewhere in that ballpark. So, when it comes to gaming, even though the performance is about the same, it's how you get those FPS. It's how the processor runs, plus all these other features that really kind of culminate in just having this excellent package for gaming. And the performance is on par with a 14900K, and it's a 14900K is a great processor as well, but this one is just much more efficient. It has the new integrated graphics for 8K encode, decode with XAVC.
Right.
So it's the full package.
Yeah.
It's the full package.
And so
I know we don't have a lot more time with you, Taylor, because you're very busy. This is a big event. I did want to ask, we talked about the NPU. We talked about how that's helpful for gamers out there. I feel like in a lot of the marketing we've seen for NPUs in other devices, it's like you can do generative AI images, and that doesn't mean a lot to your everyday consumer. So what is the NPU doing in this enthusiast level CPU that everyone watching here would care about?
Yeah, so we have a really cool usage. So if you do your background removal and in your stream encoding on your discrete graphics card, this is another task that your discrete graphics card has to work on, right?
Okay.
So there is a performance penalty, right? Now with the new NPU, what you're able to do is you're able to shift that workload for the background removal to the NPU, and you're able to get a really high quality cutout while taking load off of both your CPU and your GPU. And then, of course, you can use QuickSync Video, which, as we were just talking about, has excellent codec support, extremely high quality. So you're able to get that FPS back.
And that's the key part. You're actually getting FPS, and this is not an insignificant amount of FPS.
No, we've seen ballpark 15%. Depends on the workload, but yeah, it's pretty.
And that can be pretty significant in a
I
lot of ways.
mean,
I'd love to have 15% of my frames back, especially so if you're a broadcaster or something like a streamer, this would be a great thing for you. Taylor, we're going to have you back later on, but we are doing some amazing partner stuff here because we have some partners here. But actually, we're going to throw you guys over to what is the Battle Royale happening here at NRG Night Market. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, this place is so awesome, and I feel bad that the cameras are all facing this way. Can we take a look at maybe what that octagon looks like?
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing that. Yeah, so this is inside. You're seeing it right now. This is inside of the actual octagon that is here. This is an MMA fighting place. There you go. This is an MMA fighting place where we actually have two systems set up inside. These systems are essentially basically people competing. Now, we're going to get the 411 directly from the fine folks who are running this. But all in all, you guys can actually see here, these are actually live from inside of that octagon right there. And this place is really cool. Guys, I wish we could give you guys the full meal deal here in terms of the setup and everything like that. But yeah, it is super, super cool. So guys, a lot going on here at the night market between live audience and everything else. And then, yeah, wow.
And you know what I see over there in the octagon? That looks like a Height Y70 case, which I absolutely adore. And oh, hey, man, King is here with us today. Surprise! Wearing the Height shirt and everything.
It's totally the magic of this Intel event. It's crazy. I don't understand if you guys see how insane the setup is in here.
No, I don't think
know if
chat
there's like a
has seen
panning
all
shot,
this.
but you guys are throwing such an incredible event. This is great.
Oh, yeah. No, it is like, guys, and the other thing, too, is that with the lights off, okay, so just to give you guys some ideas, we have artists selling things. We have places for people to go and try bunches of different games and all that sort of stuff. We've actually got a giant cat bed.
It's a slide.
It's
got
like a twisty
right?
slide
How
to
many,
get down
from
it.
you guys in the live audience, how many of you guys have ridden on the slide yet? Anybody? No sliders.
No one's been brave enough to go on the cat twisty slide
testing
yet.
the liability of this place.
Yeah, we wanted to see how liable it is and all that sort of stuff. Exactly.
Surely there's
So
insurance.
And then
funny.
you guys, tell us about your situation because you guys are actually in a battle arena octagon. Am I right?
Yeah, we are challenging people all night with Energy Valve, so we will be playing Valorant 1v1s.
Okay.
We'll be doing Tekken 1v1s. It is an octagon at the end of the day. We do want to duke it out, kind of even against some of our competition here. So
I love
we
that.
look forward to it. There's a running thought here that I might be the bear, and there's,
By the way, guys, just so you know, the bear wears no clothes.
I opted for.
I have told him that is not a thing that is okay here at the night market. So it's okay for you to be the bear, but you have to wear a bear outfit.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
took it
That was the
completely
key.
wrong.
Yeah, that was the key thing.
I was
King.
ready. I was full
Twitch
send.
terms of
I
service
was
is
full
the thing.
send. I was full send.
You know what? We're just up here goofing around. But for anyone who's watching right now who might not know who you are,
Jesus.
King,
Yeah.
can you please tell us who you are, what brand you're with, and what you do
Wait,
there?
Yes,
real
yeah.
quick. Hold on. We have a bingo. So we've had one.
Oh.
We've had a number of bingos already happening.
Before
So
we spoil
bingos
it.
have happened. Just wanted to let you guys up there. Update: bingos are happening, and people have gotten bingo. Now,
Okay.
Now that we're through that, you can say something.
King Perez,
Great.
ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, guys. Hey, I'm King with iBuyPower and Height. We are here celebrating the launch of Arrow Lake with good friend Roby and Trish. But yes, we will get on with this awesome segment. Somehow, magically, the PC appeared here. There was a really awesome cut.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about this gorgeous PC that we're all staring at?
Yeah.
And the color, by the way.
There are some leaks, and I don't know if my team or my PR team is prepared for me to say this, but
Those are my
Ooh.
the
favorite.
Milky Series right here, and I'll call it the Milky Series RDY, will be out soon, TM. We are looking forward to this releasing within October.
Cool.
And along with this launch of particularly the colorways, this is part and parcel with Intel's launch. So this is strategic with us. We want to showcase the new Intel CPUs in the best way possible.
Sure.
So with the launch of our highly aesthetic case, the sister brand Height has come out with the Milky series, and this is the Taro Milk Edition. As you can see, the entire case is in this Taro lavender milk. We think
I love it.
that is an excellent way for people to kind of customize their desktop these days, and
It's beautiful.
It is, and I love that every single part, like it's not just,
Yep.
it's not like just Milky on the chassis, but actually inside, even the PC riser cable,
Yep.
the PC riser holder, everything in this is, now, did you guys invade a Taro plant to actually get the color? Like, how did you make that?
We
like,
crushed all of them.
all
and
of
then
them,
we
there are
decided
no
there
more
are no
left.
more.
They're all in this
This
case
is it.
color
In
situation.
the one case too, so it's the only one.
This is the only one. If you wanted to get Taro at your local boba shop or anything like,
No, it's too
sorry,
bad.
it's
It's too
all
bad.
right here. It doesn't. No, it doesn't taste like Taro.
Licked it, dude.
You licked it? Now it's yours.
No,
We did a
thank-
little
oh,
bit.
man,
Yeah,
oh,
that's how.
man.
No,
Oh,
don't
he's
do
gonna-
that.
oh,
People are going to go around the night market doing that. King, when it comes to new launches like
Yep.
we're seeing right now with the Intel Core Ultra processors, what gets you most excited? And like from a brand standpoint, like does your brain go to like, ooh, what can I do with this?
What we love the most, and Taylor was just here, so I'm glad
Yeah.
that he went first. Honestly, a lot of people are glad he went first. But he talked about the full stack and what that does for us, and we want to be leaders in price and performance.
Right.
And the fact that it doesn't shake it up, the fact that the pricing will remain relatively familiar with people who are buying 14th gen, and now we're transitioning to Intel Core Ultra across the 9 and the 7 stack. You're now getting more with that same stack. So you're getting the gaming efficiency. You're getting that the content creators with the new feature set that he was talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And that lower power requirement. Overall, it just helps us provide a more comprehensive offering, especially as we're building things like the iBuyPower AW4 cooler. So like that is our first party product, and all of that really helps bundle that into a package that we appreciate that Intel has come out with, and we look forward
And
to.
speaking of parts, we actually have a parts list for this, because the other thing too is that this is not something a lot of times when people would see in older 14th gen CPUs, especially with the Core i7. You guys, this is a 240 millimeter. Yeah. Oh no, this is a 360. Okay,
Yep.
so it is a 360, but again, because of the lower power wattage, like this is where you guys can say it's like price to performance. A lot of times,
Exactly.
like, if I don't need to put that in here and I'm still getting the performance, that's cost that can move on to the consumer.
Yep, and that's where we pride ourselves, right? So iBuyPower has always prided itself on its selection and its price and performance. So, and we're also in our 25th year. I don't know if anybody knew that, but we're in our 25th year.
25 years.
This is our
Wow.
25th anniversary month.
Congratulations.
That's
Thank you.
older than Trisha. That's
Oh, that's
Definitely untrue. We said we wouldn't lie to anybody
getting a
on
little
this stream,
political
so we're
here
going to
on
keep
the
it there.
stage. Yes. The only answer is yes.
yes, yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
my
Yes.
friend. Taking it away from the number 25, what are some things you did in this system in particular to help that new Intel Core Ultra 7265K really shine?
So outside of the cooler, of course, this whole package, again, this will be kind of bundled into an RDY. We want this to be a part of that line. So
Yeah.
Taro being the colorway that you see here. Now, if you're going into the Octagon, you'll see the strawberry milk.
Which also looks very good.
Yep.
But you didn't take all the strawberries for that, right?
No, we did too.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Why are you taking all of the best
we
stuff?
hate fruit, and so therefore we are trying to condense them into our cases.
We hate fruit.
So that's the story of it. But this entire offering, it's meant to showcase the launch of Intel Core Ultra.
Awesome.
Yeah, and by the way, I think you paid that gentleman because he said King is the man.
Oh man, I will slip you that 20 later. Okay, I'll remember.
So when you guys think about when you give people, it's like people go in there and they see a new SKU on there. What do you think is the most important thing to tell the audience about these new Intel Core Ultra powered desktops?
You just get more. You
just
get
get
a lot more. So again, with how familiar you are with purchasing from us, now that this offering's come in, it's got more efficiency, it's got more feature sets, especially for those content creators. You're still getting that high-end gaming performance that you're really looking for the stack. And it's the fact that we will offer this entire stack really is a great way to get gamers of all types, maybe new PC Master Race gamers, to get familiar with iBuyPower and to get into gaming in a way that feels great, especially as you're looking at the next generation line from Intel.
And then if people want to go purchase one of these, if they're looking, maybe they actually haven't heard of iBuyPower. Maybe they do like fruit, but still may not want to. They still might want to get a PC from you, King. Where do they go? Like,
Yeah.
where's the place to check these bad boys out?
I would be so sad if you hadn't heard about iBuyPower
After 25
after 25 years. What do we got to do? Do we got to give free Peepos with every PC?
Oh, snap. Did
Oh.
you just announce that?
I did.
Did-
Peepo.
But I
Ladies and
maybe
gentlemen.
I just think I literally just saw all the lights go off on the Octagon and they were like, and we're done.
Yeah,
We have
it
no
was-
money.
the lights-
Thanks
they're
for
like,
that. Yeah.
But yeah, we are iBuyPower. You get them at iBuyPower.com. Again, 25 years. We have raised the bar internally. We now have raised to an industry-leading warranty. So 3 years parts, 2 years labor. That is standard now.
Awesome.
We've also searched high and low for everything that we could do to save the consumer money, even the first responders. So we just launched ID.me. So
Oh, wow.
You're a student, teacher, military, first responder.
Oh, that's
Get
awesome.
even more extra savings from iBuyPower. That's
love
what we're
that.
here for.
That's so cool.
And then on top of that, I mean, I think the Skunkworks division that we had launched, so this is our sister brand. Obviously, I'm wearing the Hyde shirt here. We continue to innovate. There's going to be some stuff coming up at CES that is going to be incredible.
Dropping secrets.
And we're excited to do that with Intel, of course. So.
Which is cool. Okay, well, thank you so much for talking to us today. Anything else that you want to share? Any other secrets?
Is
Any
there-
other
Yeah,
freebies
Is
that
there
you're giving away?
anything you wish we had asked you that we didn't get to talk about
Like
today?
if you buy this, you get free 4K monitors, free 100. No,
Oh,
that's
jeez. We can't talk about that strategy yet. I don't know. I feel like I'm up here and I look at you guys. You're so nice. I'm just forced to leak everything.
Oh, good.
That's what
like the
makes
iBuyPower
us,
Generation 9 lineup that's coming up.
Ooh, hey.
Anyway, that's for later. I had a great time here, and I can't wait to see you guys 1v1 me in the ring. Okay, that is an amazing Octagon. We'll see you there. Yeah. Let's have a great night.
Awesome.
Thank you
well, why
so
don't we
much
take
for
a quick
joining
Why don't we
us.
take a quick look of here at around the stadium and all that sort of stuff, just to give people an idea, and then we're gonna let you go, King, and go from there. So thank you very much, King. We'll see you later.
Thank
All right,
you,
thank you, guys.
King.
There you guys go. You're getting this beautiful view of what is happening here on stage or around the stage right now. You can see so many people here at this live event right now, and we just have so much going on. this is, you guys are seeing, like, look there in the back there. There's that cat. Oh, it's blocked by a light. But there's that cat back there. Look at that. So you can climb up. Oh, it looks like nobody's allowed up there.
That's the twisty slide.
That's the twisty slide, yeah. And then you also have that Rockstar, you have that Rockstar Volt. Now, if you were here on site, then that Rockstar Volt, if you were able to get the code, you would actually be able to win a free PC, which is actually
Really?
pretty crazy. Yeah, yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
It's pretty awesome. So yeah, this is just giving you an idea. Now, doors have not officially opened. This is just the pre-party crowd. So there's going to be about 500 people here, all sorts of tech influencers, other people as well that are going to be seeing all sorts of really cool stuff. And we have folks from Intel, we have folks from NZXT, MSI, we got CyberPower, iBuyPower, we got Height, we got Energy, ThermalTake, we got Newegg, who's chilling actually right next to us. We got a really rad segment with them coming up as well. Not to mention, the coolest thing, they have a night market with artists that are selling local things here as well. So
I love
some
it.
really, really, really cool things that are actually going to be happening. And I'm really, really excited to do this. But we got Taylor back, guys.
We do. Taylor's back. Welcome back, Taylor.
I like it when we get Taylor back because that means we're going to talk more tech.
It does, and new tech.
Yeah, exactly. And don't worry, we will be building a PC. Mike just sat down. ThermalTake Rob just sat down. He's a little tired. ThermalTake Mike just sat down. He's a little tired because he's helping us build today. But guys, it is going to be super awesome. Now, I do have to say this. I found out, I thought we were going to do the world's first build, but come to find out, Main Gear actually 2 hours ago did it. So we're the world's best first, the world's best first live build, and we're just gonna go with that.
The confidence exuding out of this one,
So I see you, Main Gear. I see you throwing. We're gonna take it from here. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm gonna say.
It's still one of the world's first builds with this new tech.
So it's gonna be
We're gonna keep it at that. And for those of you who may have just joined the stream recently and you're thinking, what is this new tech that Trisha and Roby and Taylor are so hyped for? We're gonna break it down again in case you missed the beginning of the stream. We've heard all about the new Intel Core Ultra 200S series. Let's go ahead and talk about the exact chips that are officially launching this week.
And I have to say, audience, I'm sorry. I know that we have been teasing this. I want to make it that much harder. We've been teasing talking about the stack the entire time, and finally we're going to bring to it. We'll do it. So let's go ahead and bring up that graphic one more time and go from here, right?
Perfect.
So let's get, there it is right there. So Taylor, talk us through these.
Talk
about
through
each one of these, and let's start from the top.
Sounds good. Yeah. So for those that it is Intel Core Ultra. This is our next new enthusiast desktop processor. It's a big naming convention change, no doubt.
Yes.
And of course, the new numbering will take quite a bit of getting used to. I'm certain of it. But starting at the top of the stack, we have our Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. So this would be like a replacement for like a 14900K.
Okay.
For example.
Okay.
Right? From last generation.
Yep.
Actually, the same core count too. And then as we go down the stack, it's Ultra 7, 265K, and then KF, Ultra 7, 265 KF, Ultra 5, 245K, 245KF, all these things. Now you're wondering, okay, well, what are those SKUs? What's that number? That the accumulation of letters and numbers? What does it mean? Well, 2 is the designator for this being the second series for Intel Core Ultra.
Yes.
The next 2 digits, that's the SKU number, right? So Ultra 9 is 85, for example, right? 7, 65, 5, 45. And then it goes into K. K is unlocked. So K is, it's an unlocked processor, which means it's overclockable, right? And these are also our highest performing CPUs for the 9, 7, 5, et cetera.
Okay.
Yeah. F, no integrated graphics, right? So this is, one of the big designators. The other one is S. So we've had this in the past where it's a KS. So just S, think special edition.
Yep. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
But for these also maybe socketed.
Yeah, the series. Yeah, so when we refer to like the 200S series.
S is socketed.
Yeah.
But S in the product name is special edition.
Special edition.
That's right.
There we go.
That was like the for the tippy top guys, the people who were like looking for the best of the best.
That's it.
And there were only a limited number of ones to basically.
Yep.
And guys, if you ever want to just have a good time, go learn about how CPUs are made, and then you'll understand why the special editions are the way that they are. Because I mean, that means that on basically the CPU dies, these are like the best printed stuff.
I mean, they are, right?
They
when
are.
we talk about, like manufacturing of CPUs and the frequencies that they're able to achieve, it's really a bell curve, right?
Okay.
So where you have, most CPUs will fall in the middle, and some CPUs will be, really, really pretty extra, right? They're able to achieve just higher frequencies more easily, right? And, so what we do as part of our manufacturing process is we identify, which are those CPUs that really just go that extra, that extra mile, right?
Okay.
And those are our KS CPUs.
Got it.
So that's kind of, as we kind of break down, our SKU stack, that's really how we look at that process.
So
I
guys,
love it.
let's bring it in a little close here. The way I want to boil this down, because a lot of people are asking questions. When you think about these new CPUs, the one thing that you can think about with these is that these can do anything. They can game, and they also have multi-core, and they also have single-core performance. There is no one or the other. This is the whole package. So all in all, your gaming performance, you're not boosting your gaming performance to have worse, basically multi-core performance.
Yes.
These do the whole thing. That is the thing that is really important. You are not limiting either side when you do this. And then the second part of that is actually very important as well, because I think that people are missing this as well, is that where you used to have to consider when you were buying some of these 14th or 13th gen, like your cooling, they have made that easier as well, because you can do a Core Ultra 7 that is air-cooled. You can do a Core Ultra 9 that is actually air-cooled. Now, and then if you want to push them with overclocking and stuff like that, we'll talk later on. Yes, adding an AIO, but that means your overclock potential is much higher. We're talking 13 or even as much as 17 degrees cooler. You have the same gaming performance, but higher single-core and multi-core performance uplift.
Interesting point on that.
Yes.
So, one of the things that we've done in our testing is we've seen that for gaming, right? So, an Ultra 9, it can go up to 250 watts. But we found that if you decrease that power all the way down to 125 watts, saying, CPU cannot use more than 125 watts.
This is important. What he's saying is actually very important. So he's saying you run at 250, but if you go less,
down to 125 watts. So say you're building a small form factor system, right? You can't put a big radiator, you're just doing a decent sized air cooler in there, Your gaming performance is on par.
Yep.
In our testing, yeah. So really, when we talk about this being a more efficient CPU, we really mean it.
Yep.
Well, and that, I'm glad you brought up small form factor, because that's the kind of thing that we can talk about the tech of it all day. We can talk about the benchmarks, we can talk about better thermals, but I think a lot of people tuning into the stream are like, yes, but how does that affect me? So if you're building small form factor, if you're used to pushing your system to its limits, and maybe you don't like that your fans spin out of high heaven and sound like a spaceship taking off, like these are the things that this is going to help with.
And then the other thing too is, like, again, guys, you're absolutely, like, again, these are coming out on October 24th? Is that what it is? It's like
That's
October
it. You got
24th,
it.
8 a.m., right? And then again, that's when you guys will see, like, a lot of people, if you're one of those people who just wants to wait and see what other people say, you can absolutely do that. We're just giving you the information that we want you to be informed. So as you're going into this, you can make an informed purchase decision in terms of who these are targeting and what they are capable of doing right now, okay?
I also want to shout out Travman Man in Twitch chat had asked, and we talked about this a little earlier, but it's always great to review, any P-cores or E-cores? The answer is yes, absolutely. New P-cores and
New
E-cores,
P-cores
in
and
fact.
E-cores, brand new architectures.
And again, you talked about that P-core performance. We saw some uplift, but E-core up to 30+%, right?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that what you said?
really-
And P-core was like, what was that number again?
At 9.
9%. So 9% uplift on the P-cores and up to 30+% on E-cores, which is, yes, hyper-threading is gone, but they basically used it to something more efficient. And again, we'll see. Proof is in the pudding. And of course, independent reviewers and everybody will look at this. So again, we'll see that information as well. Let's show the stack one more time, because I do want to go through this because people are asking questions about cores, P-cores, E-cores. The best thing about this stack is it shows. There you are right there. And then you can actually see people are asking about max boost clock right there up on the screen as well. So there's all of your information that you guys could want to know. And again, all of these are going to be available. They're for pre-order now, which you can go
pre-order right now.
But if you're one of the people who doesn't want to wait for pre-orders, wants to see those independent reviews, all of that is available on October 24th, post 8 a.m., guys. So there you go.
Another thing to note here is, just to make it a little bit simpler, the core counts for the Ultra 5, Ultra 7, and Ultra 9Ks, they're the same core counts as the last generation to really kind of help you make that mapping into, okay, what was last generation, what is this generation? The other thing to note is that, of course, course, the Ultra 9's the whole package, right?
Sure.
You get our top-of-the-line performance across every scenario, but also the Ultra 7 is a really good spot in our stack.
Yep.
Because the max power consumption on the Ultra 7 is about 180 watts, so it's lower, and the gaming performance is only about 5% worse. So when you think about kind of where all these things kind of land, the Ultra 7's a really great product as well.
And again, one of the things that is that you're getting that gaming performance, but you also do get that more powerful single thread uplift and multi-thread uplift as well, right?
That's right.
So this isn't just something where you're having to say, do I want to just do gaming or do I want to do everything? This is something that does it all and does it well, right? So again, that's going in there. Now, I think the thing that will be very, very important for us is people want to see, they have some practical questions about, hey, with these new processors, what's going to change? Things like, okay, so I know the socket is different. Instead of LGA 1700, we have LGA 1851, right?
Yes,
right. Yes, I did it.
Yeah,
Oh,
the way you said the numbers was weird. I'm used to saying 1851.
Oh, okay.
So you're like 1851. I was like,
and
yes,
this is
same thing.
You say tomato, I say tomato. But yeah, we have LG. So people are going to. So I think the best way for us to answer the practical questions is actually to do a PC build.
Right
because
here.
What we're going to do, and you'll see some special guests. We'll have ThermalTake Mike, who's going to be joining us. Some other people as we talk about this stuff. But I feel like doing practically, like in a lot of ways, you guys will start to see that. On top of that, like even though we do have a new motherboard generation, because these do need to go into Z890 boards, but you'll start seeing things like your coolers, those don't have to change. You can use the, and actually with the way that you guys have designed the chip, actually that's a really good point. Let's talk about some of the things with the physical design, because you even talked about why these things cool. And you talked about basically...
Yeah.
So let's go and cover that real quick before we go into the practical build, because this is actually why you actually see the lower temperatures, even though the wattages are very close.
Yeah. Well, the wattages really are lower. For gaming, the wattages are 50 to 80 watts lower, so it's a lot, right?
That's great.
But yeah, of course. But even if you're running both at the same power, right? All right, both are running at 150 watts. The new products, in a lot of cases, will be cooler. We have some. Talking about the physical dimensions of how all this is coming together.
Yes.
It's called the integrated lever mechanism. This is the part of the socket. You go press it down. You'll see it in a minute. In the
ILM.
Yeah, the ILM. We have a reduced load ILM. So what it really does is it puts a little bit less pressure on the CPU.
Okay.
And if you're using a compatible cooler, which any of the coolers in the enthusiast space generally will meet the requirements, it's great.
Sure.
It's a flatter CPU. It puts less pressure, so it flattens out the top of the CPU to make better contact with that cooling solution.
Love it.
Which again, better contact, which means better, more efficient transfer of heat, which means better temperatures overall, guys.
That's right.
And you'll see some of that in there. So we are going to say goodbye to Taylor one more time.
For now, but again,
go ahead.
We'll be back.
He will be back. But let's show up the parts list for the build we are building today, because I think this is what we're actually going to be putting into the system today, right now. So we're going to bring those up in here in just a second.
Let's see the parts.
And here it comes. It looks so good.
Also, we can see multiple chats. I saw some folks in chat saying, oh, I think they're only seeing the Intel Twitch chat. No, we can see you wherever you're watching from. We can see you, and you will be seeing this build that Roby and I put together right now using the components that are up on this screen. Roby, is there a particular part of this build that you're most excited for today?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm using a brand new CPU, right? Like anytime you actually get to put a new CPU in is always a good time to do it. So this time we're going to be using the Intel Core Ultra 7 265K. We're going to be using the MSI MEG Z890 Ace motherboard.
Yep.
We have an NVIDIA RTX 4080 Super. We have a WD Black SN850X 2 terabyte NVMe drive. We have G.Skill Trident Z5. This is 32 gigs at 6,400 mega transfer. So remember, that was the thing that we talked about. So we've upped the speed. ThermalTake mid-tower, 600 mid-tower chassis. We have the ThermalTake basically TH360 V2 Ultra EX AIO. And then we have the ASUS Tough Gaming 1000 watt PSU, but you know how much I love using the Tough Gaming PSUs because the cables are
those cables.
So easy to manage.
You know, it's funny. I feel like I've been hearing you say that about that ASUS Tough Gaming PSU for a while now, and I finally got to feel them today. And I was like, you know what? I get what Roby's talking about.
It wasn't just me, but Tom, who's one of our guys, was like, he's like, now that I've used these cables, it makes a whole lot more sense. So we are going to have a lot of fun. Now, the cool thing is that we are going to go ahead and grab the parts and start the build But we actually have somebody from MSI, one of my very good friends who's chilling right next to us, who's going to tell us a little bit about the boards and stuff like that. Do you want to introduce yourself? Because I mean, again, I don't want to do it wrong.
David, welcome to the stream.
Oh, thank you, Trish. So, hi everyone. I'm David. I'm from MSI. I'm here from our product marketing team. I'm going to focus on the motherboards today. And wow,
we've got the motherboard. I love it.
Roby's bringing in the box.
There it is, right there.
There's some really cool things we've done with our newest motherboards I really want to show you.
Yes.
That you haven't seen before.
I actually, so this one, I know I've looked at a couple Z890, but this one I wanted to save until we actually opened it up, so that way I could savor that first time, because a lot of times, like, I don't get to do it in front of like a live studio audience, so to get to do this in front of and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've already heard a couple things about this that I'm actually really excited about, because we actually bench tested this. There's an OS on it and all that sort of stuff already.
Okay.
But take it away. Let's talk a little about the board. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start the build process
you
here.
start with this. And actually, before we talk about the specific board that we're building with today, can you tell us about this new era of MSI motherboards?
Right.
Like, what are you most excited about for the Intel Core Ultra processors?
Before I get into that, let me talk about the motherboard just first a little bit.
Sure.
So I think we've embraced a philosophy over this time where we want to make building the computer with our motherboards more convenient. And I think, a long time ago that kind of began with this pre-installed rear I/O, fairly industry standard at this point. But hey, let's take it further. And this is where I'm so excited about.
That's a lot of ports.
Yeah, it is a lot of ports. But this is our high-end motherboard, so we're giving you a lot. But what's really big now is, a few generations ago, we may start looking at some toolless M.2 just on this connector. But now we're taking a step further. So I don't need to take off any screws for this heatsink. I'm going to press this latch down, this button down right here on the side.
Whoa, the whole thing?
And that whole heatsink, one big piece came right off. No tools needed.
Love it.
And then that's a double-sided heatsink. We got heat pads there, heat pads here.
Yep.
And then just put an M.2 SD. Let's see, you guys don't quite have one. That's okay. I brought one just in case.
Oh, you just this guy just pulls out an M.2 like from a back
out of my pocket.
I got one. Don't worry.
So
we're good to go.
Yeah, watch this, Patricia. Watch this very
Okay,
closely.
I'm watching.
All right, let's see. Put it right there.
Pop it in.
Pop it in. Okay, looks like it's good.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna press that down.
Wait, did that just click into place?
Yes, no screws.
No screw needed, no little swivel even needed.
No, not anymore.
Wow.
And watch me take it out. So I'm gonna pull that back, and just like that.
I love this so much.
I know this is a first on our motherboards this generation, and
That's
it's so easy.
Really
you want to give that a quick
cool.
try?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Press that down.
Ah,
Let's try it.
I'm too strong. There we go. And it's in. And you said to pop it out, we just pull this
it back. And that spring force should just let it go back.
Oh, I think my nails are in the way.
You need a little.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, let me do this for you.
Look at you doing it.
I'm trying. This is cool. Did you see this?
Yeah, this is what I was saying. Yeah.
This is really neat. It's so funny because you often talk about how an SSD upgrade is, for most people, one of the easiest upgrades you can make in your PC. And look at you out here making it even easier. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
And from the rest of us at MSI, we're delighted to hear that feedback.
Yeah, that's really neat.
That was one of the things I've been asked for so long, just finding new ways to make it just nicer to work with our motherboards.
Yes.
So that's one of them. The other one, we also have a button here that just a lock for the PCIe slot. So that's up here.
Great, we love that.
So becoming more common on motherboards, but we have it too. Our own solution, our own design. So graphics cards are becoming so big. Some of them, they have really thick back plates, making it even thicker.
Yes.
I myself, after I have all the parts in and I want to get that graphics card out, it's becoming harder. But now with this button that just unlocks it, you just have, that's it.
And I like that the button's on
right
the
out.
side. Sometimes the button you still have to get down in and around the GPU.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
nice that it's all the way over there.
It's all the way over here. It's a good point.
Look at the amount of I/O. I mean, looking at
I
the
know,
I/O.
that was the
I/O
first
on this
thing I said.
I mean, there's so much I/O on this motherboard. It's crazy how much I/O is actually on this, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, of course. Like you immediately just notice how many USB ports are there. But it's not just the number. It's It's the variety of things you get with it.
Yes.
Right.
So we have USB-A, great for people who are wanting to run their traditional peripherals,
Sure.
gaming mice, keyboards, so on. USB-C, for all our newer devices.
Wireless dongles, maybe.
Dongles, maybe even your external storage. And we got a few USB-C devoted to Thunderbolt.
Okay.
So, and this will actually be found on pretty much all our Intel Z890 motherboards. So they'll come with Thunderbolt 4.
I'm noticing you have a clear CMOS button. That's so much easier than the way I've done it in the past.
We've had it for a while. It's been so highly demanded, so we have to keep bringing it back because everyone wants it.
Really nice.
No, he's not wrong, right? Like, it's just one of those things. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful board. Actually, why don't we go ahead and socket? Here we have it right here. Our Intel Core Ultra 7 CPU.
Oh my goodness.
It's not world's first, but it is one of the world first.
First day.
First day, and we're going from there. So here we go right here, checking it out. So we're gonna go ahead and get that basically socketed right now. So I'm gonna go in there. Now this has got that new tension that he was talking about from here as well. So we're gonna go ahead and ooh, okay, that's nice.
It's a little stirdier,
right? It's a little sturdier right there, right? That's nice. And we go ahead and pull that, and then we go into there. So this is the LGA 1851 or 1851 socket, depending on how you go in there. And again, you're going to socket it the exact same way. You're going to grab it, and you're just going to set it in. Now the question is, are we going to get the pop, right? Like
I think we will.
You think we're going to get the pop? So we're going to put this there. We're going to set this up for the pop. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good pop.
That was a good pop, guys. That was a really good pop. So we got the pop there, and then the other thing too is I already took it off. We have that super nice magnetic, nice magnetic setup here, right? So it's
that's going to be our M.2
so
Frozer heatsink.
And then all you do is you just basically lift to open it up, and then we're going to grab our 2 terabyte WD Black SN850X here.
Love it.
2 terabytes.
2 terabytes. Oh yeah, we don't give away. We're giving away a good build here today. Now people might be asking, like, Roby, how do I win this PC? Well, this one we're going to be giving away on Gleam later on. So just stay tuned to the Intel socials. So we'll have that Gleam giveaway, and then this PC will be given away to one lucky winner that way. And then bingo, that's where you win like the build kits and all that sort of stuff as well. But there we go, guys. And then last thing we got to do, it's RAM click time, guys.
We got to put the RAM in.
We got to put the RAM in. Now this is supposed to feel a little bit different too, I've heard.
Oh yeah?
Right, so we'll have to see. I mean, like, it's all new to me right now. I haven't done this. It's like I'm like giddy at this point in time. So here we go.
I love how building with new components makes Roby giddy. It gives me so much anxiety because I'm afraid I'm going to do something wrong. But this is why he's a great
I'm winding up.
co-host.
I'm stretching. You gotta be appropriately stretched. Guys, the flectoid, really important muscle to make sure is good.
And also, you're doing this on a box, which has some flex. I would be so nervous.
Okay, here we go. I'm getting my thumbs ready.
Nice, good click.
Oh, I felt that. It felt so good.
Oh my goodness.
Felt so good. Okay,
Folks.
one more. We got one more. One more set of RAM clicks going on right here.
Sorry to make you disappoint you, Roby.
No, I'm not disappointed at all. I'm really happy. Oh,
yeah,
man.
those are.
I think you might have put him in the wrong DIMM slots.
Oh, did I really? I was so
2 and 4, buddy. 2 and 4.
Wow, I was testing you guys. You guys win.
David,
And by
you
the-
were just
by
so
the
sweet
way-
about that too.
By the way, guys,
I'll
I
let
want to
you
show
savor
you
it.
something on the board. Can we zoom in on the board here real quick?
Yes.
It actually shows you on the board the right
should
right
be-
DIMM slots.
Oh, are they colored?
No, they're right
no,
there.
it should be
See, 2
screen
and
printed
4.
right next to the DIMMs.
And it's actually marks the
Nice.
DIMM, so you actually know which one it is. So you don't make
Yep.
a Roby mistake. I was far too excited.
You were
was
too excited.
more worried about the showmanship than it was actually doing it right. But luckily I had people, and this tells you something. Even people who've built as many PCs as they have, you can make mistakes, and that's okay.
And that's
you just
okay.
gotta fix it. And the
I
good
still
thing
make
about
mistakes.
PCs, it's very easy to fix. So what we're gonna do
We
now
all
is I
do.
just gotta do 4 RAM clicks.
There we go.
Oh, that was still so good.
Still, the flex of this board, I'd be so afraid I'd break the motherboard.
Why? Look at how thick this is.
there's a backplate.
I mean, it's very thick, but
you
still.
guys-
Roby, turn that upside down real fast. Like you're
Oh,
not,
but
it's not,
pushing
it's
that
not, it's
RAM
not,
first
it's not
before-
going to twist or bend.
Oh,
there's,
yeah, yeah.
there's a whole metal
like, this
backplate
is like,
there.
Yeah, you guys.
Oh,
this is,
yeah,
this
that's
is,
nice.
This is not going to be a. Now, if I do, no, I'm just kidding. No, you are not going to do this, right? Like,
Yeah,
this
you
is-
could try. It probably won't.
It probably
break.
wouldn't. It would probably hurt my knee more, and I was actually worried about that. As I get older, I'm less apt to get to do. But I mean, like, this
Wait,
is,
you were like going to do the Batman backbreaker
yeah, exactly,
with this motherboard? Don't
Yeah.
you-
By the way, feel it. Feel how hefty that is.
This is a very weighty
That's
motherboard.
a very weighty motherboard,
Yes,
right?
agreed.
Yeah, you're just like, again, very, very weighty motherboard. Beautiful, by the way. And can I just say, you guys have been killing it with your updates to MSI Center, just like the amount of stuff that you guys have done in terms of driver, like how much lighter it's gotten in terms of just even processor stuff. Guys, MSI's been killing it. And you guys, I've seen this on the stream. So great job, David, and the motherboard team on basically just crushing it here.
On behalf of everyone with our team, those are amazing words to hear. Like,
Yeah.
those are compliments we don't always get to hear. I'm going to pass it forward, and we're so grateful.
No, for sure. No, it's like heartfelt, and I really have just been very, very impressed with the stuff that you guys, if you guys want to know, like MSI does actually listen to feedback, and I've actually had conversations with you, David, just about some of this stuff, and you guys really do. And honestly, I'd love to see in chat, based on what you guys are seeing, we've shown you a number of those, but what do you guys think of the new designs? You guys can check them out over at MSI. All their Z890 boards are out there right now.
They are. You can find them on our website. You can find them on online retail. We, I know the Intel, the Core Ultra processors aren't pre-sale right now. Our motherboards are also on pre-sale. So go ahead and take a look at them. They come in all sorts of different colors. The one you're working with right now, Roby, that Ace, that's our black and gold motherboard. Gold for winners.
Yeah.
Oh, gold for winners. You
That's
hear
why they didn't
that?
send it to me.
Now,
Like, no.
I wanted to ask you, David, for people that might not be planning out an entire new build, maybe they're just planning an upgrade or an update to a system, is there anything in particular people should know if they're planning on using this board and these new Intel Core Ultra processors for an update?
So for one, it's actually a very good question, Trisha, because I've seen behind the scenes some concerns about backward compatibility.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for people who are looking to use maybe their old processor or looking to use an old motherboard, unfortunately, that's the end for it. So to use
Yes.
an Intel Core Ultra processor, you must use a Z890 motherboard. So that's something to take care of.
Right.
Another concern I've seen, though, is what about cooler compatibility? We'll have some of our industry to talk more about that. But to reaffirm, like, our motherboard, the whole spacing is actually the same with the previous generation LGA 1700. So you can use your older cooler for the previous Intel 12, 13, 14 generation processors or motherboards. Those will be Z690, Z790. Those will still work here on a Z890 for coolers.
Awesome.
And then all of the awesome stuff you guys have done for overclocking, all that stuff, is all in with Z890 as well, with the new Core Ultra processors as well.
Yes, and it's really cool because actually, so some of the new parts, like about going with the Core Ultra, like that NPU, right?
Yep.
The AI capability, our motherboard can overclock it.
Right.
So we've already thought a little bit ahead of this design and allow for that to happen with our motherboards. And here with the our Ace motherboard, really designed for enthusiasts. Oh yeah, it has all the controls in the BIOS to let you make that AI overclocking happen.
And I'm sorry if you already kind of ran over this, but as far as the Z890 motherboards that are offered from MSI, kind of what's the range? What are people looking at options-wise?
We'll eventually have something even higher than this. So actually in our product stack here, we have the Ace. It's our second highest as far as feature set goes. It will not, for people who watch MSI motherboards over the years, it will come as no surprise. Only Godlike will come above Ace. So
Okay.
we will have an MSI Godlike on Z890. It will, as typical with our past Godlikes, it will be massive. It'll have everything, including the experimental features.
Right.
And then we have Ace here, which is more of a standard looking high-end motherboard, especially for enthusiasts. And then below that, we'll have our more mid-range, but still with very high-end features. That'll be our Carbon all-black motherboard and our Edge TI all-white motherboard. I actually, somewhere else in this room, I actually have our Edge motherboard. It's absolutely beautiful to look at. silver heat sinks on an all-white PCB. That is so rare to see.
And
now.
that's, I mean, again, for those of us who love the Arctic builds, and Robotech folks, you know that is you, right? Like going in there, we love our all-white builds, and to have like that all-white PCB and all that sort of stuff, it looks so good. It makes it just seem that much cleaner, which I'm actually really excited about. So if they want to go see all the boards, where do they go?
Here at the show, we'll have in the back, but for the rest of you at home looking online, you can definitely see it right now on our website, and probably with the various online retailers like Newegg.com. And then beyond that, then we have our more, the motherboards made with all the essentials, but still built with our incredible, like, it's kind of crazy. The MSI motherboard factory has so much advanced machinery that even your more, I guess you would call it budget, I wouldn't say low end because they're still so well built, but our more budget oriented offerings for like gamers, so that'll be our Tomahawk, and our non-gaming, that'll be our Pro-A. They're still so well built that even with their essential features, you will get a lot out of them. They're so durable, so capable.
Cool. That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Well, David, I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on the stream and talking us through so much of the stuff having to do with these motherboards. I think what we got to do now is we got to get more of this built, guys. We only have like
we're supposed to finish this.
We're supposed to finish this before the
stream.
end of the stream, and it's currently almost halfway through the stream, and we've only got two RAM in the right spot this time.
Your processor's
super
in.
clear. We got the processor in,
You got your
and we got an
storage in.
NVMe storage. I mean, there's more to do, I think, right, Trisha? Is there more
Just
parts?
a little bit.
Just a few more things that we have to basically pop in here.
That we have to do. But thank you so much, David, for spending time with us today on the stream. Enjoy the Intel night market. Thank you so much for bringing your goodies with you.
Yeah, and why don't we
It's
just
a
do a
pleasure.
check-in and show off like what's going on with the night
Let's
market
do
right
it.
now. Let's see what's going on and show a little bit more. There we go, right there.
Speaking
That's kind
of
of a
the
top
night
view right
market.
now of the Intel night market. You guys can see like the whole show, and gee, it looks so good. So yeah, I mean, it's starting to kind of pick up. I mean, I think the show people are just now allowed to come in as of like 18 minutes ago, which is actually pretty awesome.
It's open.
I'm starting to see like some people showing up on the Valorant stage there. You guys can see little bits of like behind where he is on the camera. You can kind of see like the where there's people that are selling things from the art stuff. So there's a lot going on there. There's that beautiful Rockstar Vault where people who are here on site can actually win a PC as well. So there's a lot kind of going on here. Now, I do want to take a little bit of time and let's talk about bingo because people are like,
Yes, people are asking about bingo. Who's eligible? How can they enter?
yeah, and so again, anybody US, Canada, Mexico, you are eligible to enter to win. Basically at bingo, right?
Yep.
Basically, there's a link that we've been showing
There
that
it
people can
is.
go in there.
IntelLiveBingo.com is where you go to get your bingo card.
As you watch, things will get prompted. You click on and confirm those prompts. You get about 40 seconds to basically say that, yes, I am entered to win.
And also be patient with the bingo prompts. I've seen some folks in chat be like, that happened 2 whole minutes ago.
Yeah. So
be
then,
patient, they'll come, and then you click, yes, that actually happened.
And then also, the other thing, too, that's also super important as well is that you got to use your real name and a real email address.
Otherwise, we have no idea
way
how to
get a hold of
contact you
as
if
well.
you win.
So, wait, hopefully you guys are doing. Now, we're giving away an Intel Core Ultra 9 with an MSI Carbon Wi-Fi Z890 board, which we just got finished showing the Ace, but this is the Carbon.
This is the Carbon.
And this, if you win, a second prize is an Intel Core Ultra 7 MSI Tomahawk Wi-Fi Z890 motherboard. That's your second prize. And then we have some Intel swag packs that were actually put together by the Overlord.
Do
So
the swag packs have chippy plushies in them?
I don't know. I don't know. Do the swag packs have chippies in them?
Oh,
Yes.
we
yes.
just got a
She
thumbs
gives
up.
us
The
a
swag
thumbs up,
packs
so we're
have
good.
chippies
So
in
yeah,
them.
and she hand packed them too. So again, she hand packed. So Sarah, the Overlord, has hand packed
Gotta
them.
love
and all
it.
that
And
sort of stuff.
for our international folks that are not eligible for bingo, there is a giveaway that you can enter as well.
And there we go. We've had 57 bingos all way. 4 squares. We have 291 people that are basically
That are
at 4
entered.
squares that are entered to win, and then 529 people have played so far. So again, big chance to win some of these
Big
prizes
chance
if you want
to
to get in
win.
on that. So go ahead and go in there. And then again, just because we're already almost halfway through, guys, a lot of these things will still come up multiple
Yep.
times. There's still a chance. So don't let that Don't let that keep you from going in and jumping in and playing some more bingo.
Olmec asks, do we have to click the bingos or will they auto fill in? It's
So
kind of a hybrid of both.
So you have to basically, when it goes yellow, you just have to confirm, and then the bingo, once you get it, you're auto-entered. There's nothing in there. You just have to get a bingo to basically eligible to win. And then on top of that, the PC that we're building tonight, that will be being given away via Gleam, so just head over. Make sure you're following Intel Gaming on all the socials, discord.gg/Intel. Sarah, of course, will be updating all that stuff as well, so if you want to win this PC, then we'll be giving that away.
Sarah.
And then we have the worldwide giveaway, which is the Falcon Northwest system. That's being done via Gleam, and we have links to that as well. So yeah. So somebody said, just say Intel Core Ultra 200S series.
If they're talking to me, I've said it at least a dozen and a half times.
I guess they needed me to say it.
Maybe Roby had to say it
maybe
for
I had
your
to say it for
bingo
the bingo,
card.
but people are prompting us.
Yes, people are prompting me to like get a snack, so that must be on there somewhere, and it's hilarious.
There's all sorts of fun stuff going on there for that as well. So it should be really, really fun. Well, I think we got to do some more building, but all of our components are basically all in. So why don't we go ahead?
Yeah, let's keep doing some building. How far do we want to get before we get? Okay, here's a question, Roby. I feel like I've seen you do 1.5 million builds, so I should probably know the answer to this already. But how much do you install on the motherboard before you put it in the case?
Well, I install pretty much everything. The only thing that I'm missing right now is I normally install the AIO bracket, but because we've actually been using, we got ThermalTake that's going to be helping us out here. Here's the deal. ThermalTake Mike was like, look, I'm a little worried about your ability to build. I've seen you build live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do some of the building because I also want to talk about my super rad system and my super cool case.
ThermalTake Mike is maybe one of my favorite people in the tech space.
I think you say that about everybody in the tech space. I think you've said that about me.
You are also one of my favorite people in the tech space. But I've had the pleasure of knowing ThermalTake Mike for years, interviewing him many times. Let's just get Mike up here. Mike, come on up.
Mike, come on up here. He's bringing us goodies as well. Guys, give it up for ThermalTake Mike. Let's go. Woo!
All right, Mike, welcome to the stream, my friend. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing really well because you have done a lot of work already on this PC build. You were that worried, huh?
No. Never worried.
Oh, you're a liar. You're a liar. Ever since I called him ThermalTake Rob 5-6 dozen times, and now all of a sudden he's super offended. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about this because a lot of people, when we think about these new Core Ultra series, Core Ultra processors, a lot of people are thinking that builds are going to be different. That is not the case, right? For the most part.
Some of the build is different, but not the whole thing.
No, outside of just the motherboard, the rest of it's actually pretty much the same, right?
For the most part, I think, when you look at a case, you look at the foundation of what everything's got to go in there.
Right.
And, a lot of people have different look, different style, different size motherboard, different components, right? And the big challenge for us is trying to make everything fit.
Yeah. And then the other thing, too, is when you have something like a Core Ultra Series processor, specifically where they're now required less cooling, that does make it a little bit easier for you guys to get things to fit. Because I remember there was a time when everybody was like saying, we need 420s. We need, some people were trying to get 560s in there. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, wow, I can cool this on a 360 or a 240. You know what I mean? Does that feel like that opens you guys up for more possibilities for cases? Or would you prefer bigger? Like when you think about the palette of the case, your canvas, Mac. I don't even know who Mac is.
No, I appreciate it, Thermal Rob. I appreciate it.
Mike, hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really think, when you look at a case, and those are things we got to consider, right? Depending on the components we're going to put in. You got to have a plan. And that plan can be a variety of different things. So we want to make sure that it can support both big as well as small. So people want maybe something a little bit smaller on their desk. Maybe they want a different look. We got to make sure that all those same core components still work, even though we've changed the box a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us how you've changed the box a little bit? Like what's new with ThermalTake for these new generation of processors?
So I would say one of the biggest things that we've done, this is our Tower 600, by the way. For a lot of you guys, you didn't know, this is going to be a pretty cool case. We're giving this away. I think one of the things that we did here is that, we've supported with the backwards connections on the board. So that's been a big change for us. Being able to reevaluate the backplate and be able to have specific cutouts so it all teams up. And people have a good experience if everything's forward or everything's backward.
Great.
And then at the same time, you got to have room for cooling. And with the way I mean, look how big graphics have gotten. Look how motherboards, change different sizes. I mean, we got to be able to accommodate all that. We got to be able to support people that go big and small with it, or just to give them that same kind of style. And then we also want to give some color options too.
Yeah, and you guys went to town on this one with the color options, right?
Yes. And I think one of the big things that I really like about this case is just how easy it is to get in here. We've eliminated screws. It's a completely toolless case, perfect for speed building. And we just want people to be able to get in and out easier and get that build done, get back, get into gaming. And then of course, when maintenance comes, we want to make that an easy experience as well. I mean, it's all about the case, right? Being able to get in, have the access, have a good presentation with it, and get good performance.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then so when you think about when you guys see I know you guys know when new processors are coming and stuff like that, what do you guys think about when you try to say what can be different about cases for whether that's a next-gen CPU or anything like that? What's your approach to designing new cases?
Well, when we look at the cases design as far as how it is, there's a lot of things. I mean, CPU and GPU have a big aspect for that. Graphic cards grew in size. We had to adjust for that. We had to make a bigger spot for a bigger graphics card, both width-wise as well as length. And then when you look at CPUs and stuff with cooling, like you were saying, 420 AIOs, that wasn't a thing.
Yep.
That's fairly new. And a lot of people are like, oh man, what can I get out of that?
Right.
I got a 240 right now. It's doing its job, but what can I get out of it? And I think when people start to see cases that have more options for them, it gives them more ideas.
Okay.
And that's what we're all about.
And so there's more than cases, because in this case, you guys have given us the AIO, and then you've also given us fans. So talk a little bit about AIO design. First and foremost, a lot of people think, and this has been a thing normally with new CPUs, where it's like, oh, well, I need to do LGA 1700, so will my AIO work with this new socket? Or, you know what I mean? What is it that comes, what are the things that are basically getting better with every generation with the AIO? And then, again, what do people have to think about with AIO specifically with these new Intel CPUs?
So yeah, with all that being said, AIO's coming in. I mean, you look at your pump, how pump performance changes as we get better and better products to be able to provide that cooling better. I mean, it's an enclosed system. The fans and everything being able to go from a 120 to a 140 type of solution for the fans, that can do a nice little option, but does the case support 140 as well as just 120? So that kind of comes back on that. But then you look at Intel, and I got to give a nice shout out to Intel, because that LGA 1700 socket, we haven't had to change that for a while, and that's been awesome for us, because every time we have a new socket launch, we have a new change in the market, we have to adapt to that.
But this one works the same, right? Even though it isn't actually, it's technically a new socket, you guys don't have to change your cooler, and they've improved the design of the actual chip to make it better for you guys to be able to take heat off of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the mounting points, the keep out zone staying the same makes it easy for us and easy for all of our customers too, because you can take that same AIO that you've had in your previous build, and if you want to move it over to the new one, you don't need a new bracket.
And guys, there is a song that goes with this. I know a lot of people are wanting this. There is a song. If you've ever heard Old MacDonald Had a Farm, we actually have the AI. So it's like Justin Roby has a show, AIAIO, and on the show we build PCs, AIAIO. So there we go. Now that song will be forever stuck in your head, and a couple of you guys got bingo scores out of that too. So there we go.
Oh, there you go. That was for bingo. I was like, is this Roby trying to say he only ever installs AIOs on his show? No.
No.
Bingo.
But everybody, even the people here, they know this song. They can absolutely sing it with us. Now, let us strip this case down.
Yeah, I want to see this case.
This is the rated PG-13 part of the show. If you don't want to, we're going to be stripping this case down to its bare essentials.
Well, and folks in chat want to know more about the case specifically. Is there RGB built into the case, etc.?
Yeah, so with the case itself, I mean, let's just break it down and talk about it, right? So one of the things I love about this case is just how easy it is to get in and out of it.
Love it.
The case itself, completely toolless. I can break the case down so quick. It's just something I feel we should have had, and I'm just really glad it's here now.
Nice.
So something like that breaks the case down. Even these back quarter panels, I mean, I'm literally done with the case. That's literally front and back, breaking down the case, all the panels.
Nice.
Now, to be super clear, guys, it does not usually have this much hardware inside of it.
No.
This is us doing a little bit of show pre-production and work, so that way we can just basically move in and do that stuff. But yeah, again, just giving you guys kind of the idea. But dude, there was no screwdriver. You do not have a screwdriver in your hand. In fact, all the tools are right here. You were not able to metaphysically make them transport into your hand and open it up, guys. That was all there was to basically get it open right now.
I might have been just that quick, though. Maybe.
I feel
Now,
like
somebody-
you've maybe had practice doing that before with this specific case. In
Did
fact.
you see the
done a
way,
couple
like,
builds.
he was doing double hands and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
that
he
was
Vanna
rehearsed.
Whited that like the best way. Now, somebody did ask, do the screws have fans?
Yes. So the thing, the one
Sorry
thing
to
that's
the
funny
fans.
about that is, what's important to be secured down is definitely
does need to be
secured
secured
down.
down, guys.
Yes.
And it's a great example here for like the fan brackets that we have. These brackets are removable, but there's only 2 screws that holds the bracket itself in. I pre-assembled this one to help speed up some time, but at the same time with the AIO, I know we're gonna have to remove that, and I've made it pretty quick and easy. I mean, with the bracket you see, this just comes right out.
Whoa!
And it's held in by 2 screws, but everything itself is all mounted in here like it should be. And it's just got nice little hinge pins.
Makes it
Sets
really
it in
easy
there,
to just
makes
be able
it
to
real
pop.
easy.
And guys, it makes it so easy because a lot of the times it's like sometimes the one thing that's actually really nice about that is sometimes you're like, well, how do I want to run my AIO? In some cases, maybe I do want the tubes at the bottom or whatever it was,
Right.
if that's an option. But again, you put it in and you're like, oh, it's easy to flip out versus trying to do it. I mean, you just have more space when you can basically take it out like that.
It's so easy. And you know what I want to call attention to too, because we have the fans already pre-installed. Thank you very much, Mike.
No problem.
These fans all magnetically attached. Can we talk about that for people that haven't seen that before?
So one of the cool things that I love to show about this case, and I think this makes a great example for a lot of people. One of the things I don't ever want to do is have to cut my zip ties, mess up my cable management that I spent all this
No,
time
thank
on to
you.
make it just
Yep.
immaculate. But then, hey, it's maintenance time.
Yep.
I got to take stuff out. We got to clean our fans. Something like this bracket comes off, and now I just disconnect the magnetic connection, and there you go. I have my fans right here. I can clean my cool fans, and then it's just as simple as putting this back right into the case like that, and then it's just snap.
And by the way, can you take that out again real
Sure,
quick? I just want to
sure.
show you something. This is how you know you have a professional, because he said, I'm just going to take out my fans, and then I'm going to go like this. And he, like, notice he
right
did,
to
like,
the camera.
the whole buttocks moved, right? Like, he had the whole position going on there. ThermalTake Mike.
I will say, Roby,
Professional through and through.
I was not specifically looking at the buttocks. I was looking at the fans.
I was looking at the whole, like, I'm learning from a master over here with what's going on with this. Okay, so I say, now that we're basically ready, we've got the case at the point where we can actually pop in the motherboard. Let's see how good this beautiful MSI Z890 MoBo looks inside of this Tower 600.
I love it so much.
And then one thing with the fans, the other thing too is fans are another kind of key part that you guys go in there. When you think about fan design and innovating, like where are some of the directions that we can see things going for the future, Mike?
So I think one of the big things that we're trying to do here at ThermalTake is offer people the ability to have different directions for the fans, meaning that like this particular fan we offer in both a standard as well as a reverse blade. So you have basically this setup where you would have to see the back, or if you didn't have to see the back, you have just your standard configuration. So we offer it both ways.
Oh, that's super awesome.
So like,
Yeah.
the fans themselves, they connect magnetically to each other.
Right.
To each other as
So
well.
like
We
again,
showed
it's
that,
one cable.
but-
It's one cable, 3 fans, not 3 cables, 3 fans.
Yes.
So just think of the space. I mean, I know you guys build a lot of PCs yourself.
Yes.
The one thing that we all have the most fun with, right, is the
Yep.
cable management on the back.
I love it. It's my favorite.
I do not.
Exactly.
That is my
And-
least favorite part of any build is the cable management. So when you tell me one cable for 3 fans and they can all just connect to each other magnetically and it takes care of business, that is music to my ears.
That's I love. Okay,
We're just
so
trying to
let's-
make it easier.
So let's go ahead and put this inside of there. So you've got the bag
Yeah.
of things out. I'm going to pop over here to the middle, Trisha.
Okay, yes, please.
So here we go. So we're going to pop this down here. This is my, I want to have the joy. I've put in my CPU. Now it's time to put in my MoBo.
Great.
And you know what? Honestly, it's going to look really good inside of this
Oh, we
case,
already
dude.
have our mount.
And
Okay,
all looks
great.
like, yeah, all of our stuff is good there.
Rotate.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this is going to go, so the IO is going to go up here on the top.
That's right. This
Oh,
is
flip
actually
it
a little
around.
bit
So
different.
you're going to get a new look with it too.
There we go.
It's a workout because that board is so weighty.
It is very
I'm trying
hefty.
to like one hand that awkward angle.
Oh, that looks good right there. Guys, look at that. And then you got
Nice.
screws.
I
Yeah,
do.
where we
I
got
had
those
them in the
motherboard
back here. I
screws.
apologize. Let me pull these out here. I got
Oh,
them.
there we go.
Dude, right there for you.
There
bro.
we go. Okay.
You need your.
I need just normal one, the
Okay.
magnetic one. There we go.
Oh.
We got
But I
it.
think one of the things that's really cool about this, I don't know if you felt that, but I know some people might appreciate it. There's a captive screw in the center for the standoff.
Yeah, which makes
and it just gives you that nice little seating, and it makes you feel like it's right.
Because
You
I mean,
know
that's
it's
one
in
of
the
the
right
things is like a
spot.
lot of times when you don't have that, like sometimes you're like, is it in? Or, but the other thing too is it just holds it enough so all of the other screws line up, which is actually super useful.
Yep.
So I can just do this.
I'm so glad that you're doing this part because anytime I ever do live builds, I inevitably lose half the screws.
And then you can just, once you get it in like that, you can do what Bitwood always says, screw with confidence. You know what I mean? You just
Yep.
don't have to worry about it, right? Like
Yep,
since-
yep, yep.
Yeah, so we're going in there. We're going to get all of our screws in here.
It's the magnetic screwdriver. That's your secret.
Well, it is, I don't know, do you not build with a magnetic screwdriver?
It depends what I have close to me, to be honest. I have a magnetic screwdriver, but if I can't find it, I just go for whatever's close.
I now have like so many pre-built kits of these things, like kits that are always ready to go for whatever thing that I'm essentially going to do. So we're going to go ahead and get that in there.
That's great.
Guys, we're actually building PCs live at the NRG Night Market event.
With the
This
new
is literally
Intel
the
Core
coolest
Ultra
thing
processors.
happening right now. Just
It'll
saying.
be the coolest when we put on that AIO.
AIAIO.
There you go. Yes, I love this. This is one of the first ever builds using the new Intel Core Ultra 200S series processors.
That's
this
right.
is very exciting.
Or, as they were rumored for a lot of people going, this is what used to be, like a lot of people were talking about Arrow Lake. This was Arrow Lake. Arrow Lake are these new processors that we're showing off right here. So those are the things you're gonna. I am absolutely nerding out. Why would I not want to nerd out, right? Like this is where the fun is.
Chat has asked me to remind you that the NVMe heatsink might have to come off to do the middle screw.
Oh no, there's a captive screw in there.
Yeah, that's what Mike was saying. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So we should be good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't need to put any screw in there, do I?
Mike already
you
thought
could
of
if
it.
I wanted to.
Yeah, you could if you wanted to, and it depends, because yeah, some motherboards will have the configurations that'll be a little different.
Yes.
Like ATX is ATX, but
Right.
it might have a different set of holes. Some will have like 5 versus
Sure.
9, but we cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Great.
You do not, like, if you guys think you need to put in all the screws, you don't necessarily have to. A lot of times I don't have a tendency to put in the middle screw, but if it makes you feel better, we'll put in the middle screw.
Well, you know what? I feel like it's always so important, especially when doing speed builds, to have rules in place. Like, do you have to have all the screws in, or can you skip some and
Well,
save some time there?
So for pre-builds, I mean, for speed builds, my rule is all screws have to be in.
yes,
because-
I think that's a good speed build.
And it has
rule
to
of thumb.
post,
And it has to post. I agree with you.
I agree on the post part.
not
100%.
screws. You're like, I'm optional on the screw stuff, but yeah, on the posting, not as much. It goes in there, but it's like for me, it's like if you're gonna speed build a PC, you got to do the whole
Did you
thing.
get that NVMe all the way back down with the little
Oh
clip
yeah,
thing?
look. Oh, it's locked.
That's
oh,
cool.
It's not going. Yeah, it's just the.
I like how it's like that.
And the other one too. Check this out. All of them are like this.
Yeah, see, and you know,
Isn't
that's
that
kind of
nice?
how the cases are going. I love what the new technology is
Look
doing.
at
now.
all
Look
those
at that.
NVMe
Look how easy
slots.
that is.
There are
That's pretty
so
cool.
many NVMe slots in here. We got what? Like, it's like between
It's
this one, that
pretty
is
cool.
that is a total of 5 NVMe that you have already just right there. So you
Love
have
it.
so many NVMe slots. And again, just showing you this again. Here we go. We just basically just set it down. It locks, and then that's it, right? Like it just basically sets right down, and there you're good.
And magnets right in. Look
That's
at that.
cool. That's
Easy
cool.
peasy.
Isn't that cool?
It's very
I love
cool.
stuff like that.
Speaking of things that are very cool, Mike, can you tell us about this all-in-one we're going to install today?
Yeah. So we have over here. We have one of our new. This is our ultra coolers. One of the things I like about it is it supports the magnetic fans on there. So
Nice.
all 3 of these fans. I mean, as you can see, how many people see an AIO that has the fans on it but no cables? Where are the cables at? Well, I have the cable pre-installed right there.
Yeah, we're ready
so
to go.
it's going to be a snap for Robbie over here to just kind of drop this in, mount it on the CPU, click the fan on there, and be good to go.
I love this so much.
It makes it easy.
I
It's
love
what
this
we
so much.
I'm
Mike.
glad we have this.
I'm glad we have this too. Do you happen to have the bracket for the AIO?
I
though?
do actually. It's on the back side. I kind of snuck it in the back there and
Oh,
everything.
okay.
But you know what? I thought this was a great idea. As I was watching you do that, I know that this is definitely something people can run into. They
Yep.
get so excited, you know, doing the build. I think I tucked it right down in here.
Oh, there it is.
And
Okay.
So with like back plates and stuff, Hey, sometimes we install our motherboard
show
and
so we can show
yeah,
them.
yeah, show them in the back. So
There we go.
sometimes if you install your motherboard and you're like, oh, I forgot to put the bracket in, I'm gonna have to take the motherboard back out, right?
Right.
So not only do we give this as a nice little optional storage bracket back here, but I can just go like this, and we can just take the back panel off, and there we go. We don't got to take the motherboard out now.
And there
We
we
can
go.
just put that. We got a nice big cutout back here. So if that's something that you would have missed, we make it even easier for you.
Okay, well,
I love
you wanna
that.
Put in, you want to put in this one? You wanna
Sure,
put in the
I have fallen. I've been guilty myself of putting in the motherboard and then realizing I didn't.
I've done it too. I've done it too.
And that's the thing, guys. You can make mistakes when doing PC building. It is okay. There is no right way, and you can fix it. That's one of the best things about PC DIY. Here you go.
That's like when you say, you know what? As long as it posts, folks. Okay, let's go ahead.
So remember, it's rotated. Look at that, lined up like a pro. There we go. And then we have our little spin.
What do
Oh
we
yeah,
got?
here is this part.
Okay. So here we go. And now we're just gonna lay it down. Or you want to do it that way? Okay, cool.
No, I mean, I prefer to lay it down if we can, but I don't know for the filming
Oh, okay. Well, we can.
if we have to do it vertical. Okay, look, I'm getting told.
Yeah, yeah, no
don't.
worries, no worries.
Yeah, let's just do it down there, and then we'll just turn this like that. And then go ahead and screw them in there, Miss. We're seeing live PC building at the NRG Night Market. All of the stuff is happening right now.
We got a party going on here. It's great.
Yeah, it's the way it is to be. It's like, guys, it's starting to liven up here at the Night Market. We're starting to have some stuff happening on the other stages. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the mics. We try very hard to make it clean.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any good dad jokes while we're waiting for Trisha to do?
I didn't think of any beforehand, to be
Okay.
fair.
Okay. How do you get Pikachu on a bus?
I don't know how.
You Pokemon.
Oh.
Roby!
But bump.
There we go.
All right, for these screws, am I tree up or tree down?
You're tree up.
Tree up.
No, sorry. My bad.
Tree down.
Sorry, you had said tree differently. I was thinking like the branches. Never mind. You're doing it right now.
Great.
Sorry. This is where the illustrations did not match.
It's A-okay. All right, we're almost ready here for that.
Oh, I thought it
Yep.
was an AIO.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ha, 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 ha.
I was trying to
Yeah.
do a dad joke there, trying.
And by
This
the way,
is-
guys, with the Z890 boards, you do get Wi-Fi 7 as well, so much Thunderbolt 4 and all of the other benefits as well. So that's one of the things like, so we're playing with Wi-Fi 7 at the house, and it's just, it's so fast, so fast. How's
Okay,
it feel?
there we go. It feels pretty good to me.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so now what is next is let's go ahead and we can, he's already got it pre-wired. So all we got to do is basically pop this bad boy in.
That's
Do
right.
you want to put the AIO in first, or do you want to connect up like the 24-pin
Great
cables
Oh,
and
that's
stuff?
not a bad idea.
So we have a
Let's-
little bit more
yeah, we
room
got-
to
yeah, we
kind of
got-
work
yeah,
with?
let's go and do our cabling and all that sort of stuff. And he's got everything
Okay.
kind of pre-routed here. So we got our 24-pin right here,
Okay.
and that's just going to go right here.
And it looks like the CPU power is over above the RAM on this board,
Yeah,
too.
it's a little bit different than
Little turned a little round, right?
Yeah, it's a little EPS. So we have our EPS there. Our EPS is going to run to a different place.
I got them
Yep.
in the back right here.
Ah.
They're just, I didn't run them through just yet.
So if you want to go, those look like fan ones.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, don't worry about this one. This one's okay.
Yeah.
This was extra.
Yeah, I was like, we don't need that, right? Because we have the good old magnet.
Yep,
fringe.
actually, yeah, you're right. Well, this is for our little splitter here, so.
There we go.
Woohoo!
And there we go.
There's so much cool stuff happening here.
I know, I love it.
Okay,
There we go, right
so
there.
let's
Okay,
see,
so
that's
they're
cool.
really
Cool, I even had the
excited
right
about you
orientation.
doing the EPS connector right now.
I
They're like,
know,
"Woo!"
right? All right, do we have another one of these?
Building PCs are fun.
Yeah, they are. That's what people want to see. Did you hear? He said,
Okay.
"Go, Trisha."
No, they did not.
There you go. There you go.
It's this one, right?
Yeah,
Both
yeah,
are-
yeah.
Either one is fine.
Either one's fine?
Yeah, you're good.
There we go.
There
Nice.
we go. Okay, so we got our EPS in now.
Great.
And then do we pre-route our front panel headers or?
They're in the back of the case, like with a USB. You have
Okay.
Type C as well and
Well,
everything. So those options,
Well,
yeah.
we'll install those here. We can do those after. Let's just
Yes.
go and get our AIO in.
I'm a
real
little
quick.
nervous about getting my fingers in
Oh,
there
don't
later.
worry. This is we'll do the power of movie magic, and
Movie
they'll
magic.
just come back
Even
and they'll
with
be hooked up for it.
hobbit-sized hands,
Yeah,
I worry
exactly.
about getting the
Okay, so let's put in our AIO.
Okay.
perfect. AIO or fans first? What
We're
do you
gonna do well. The fans are all in.
want? Okay.
We're good.
Yeah,
I
we
mean-
got all our fans in. Now, with this,
Feed it
I
in.
pre-ran the cable, but that would be definitely something you'd want to do.
Right.
Sure.
But this makes it a lot easier
Yep.
because now I can connect this up just right here on the
So it's
bottom of the
ready.
fan. So that's ready to go. I give myself a little wiggle room on that. And then we'll just
that
bring that
through.
pump on through there. And then this bad boy is just gonna drop in just like that.
There we go. Right.
Now
and-
there's
It's
two
just two
screws. There's two
screws, right?
screws actually. Yeah, to show this real quick. There's two screws that hold this in. If you want to take those out, because
Yep.
we will have to take them out to get it
Yeah, we're gonna screw it
properly
in. We're
mounted.
gonna
We don't
put
want
it
it
all the
falling
way.
out of the case.
No.
Look at all the
Oh.
bingos happening. More
Hey,
bingos,
bingo.
which is awesome.
And one more just down here.
You got one right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
we got one more
There you
right
go.
there.
You.
Trish
Yep.
is like, yes, PC building live on a show.
Yeah, you know it makes me so nervous because when I build, you can ask my chat, so we're streaming to my Twitch channel too. Whenever I do any like live building or tech demo stuff, I'm someone that will second guess everything because I'm a bit of a
Oh, that's okay.
perfectionist, so I have to look everything up every step, even if I've done it before a dozen times.
Here, I'll help you out with that.
It's also why
Wow, they're really happy
they're
about
very
the fact.
excited.
Man, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, guys, that
Thank
was
you.
a really good AIO install. I agree. That was
Yeah.
super good.
It's also why I recommend building with friends.
Yeah, I
so that
definitely
you can
recommend-
like get that second guessing yourself by being like, right? Is that right?
Is that
And
right? It is
sometimes
right.
both you and your friend are wrong,
Okay,
and then
so
that's
for
really fun.
For our basically our and we're gonna put thermal paste. First thing we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
do the peel.
Do the peel.
And there's no thermal paste
Oh,
pre-applied,
don't worry,
so
don't
we
worry.
gotta
We're
do
good.
it, baby.
We're good. We're good.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
got a little
He's got
freebie
these-
sample
I
here.
love
Okay.
it.
Unless you got something else. Either
No,
way.
We're
we'll use yours.
Okay.
This is your build.
You know
we're
you
gonna
can
do
get
the.
colored thermal paste now?
I know, and they have stuff that tastes
No
good
one
too.
ever sees it. All right,
man,
So
I
we're
could-
gonna do
I
the
feel
nine.
like you
we're
have
gonna
a
do the
strategy.
9-dot method.
The
okay?
9-dot
Yeah,
method?
it's actually it's called the small dot method. It's the best one to make sure you get entire coverage of the IHS.
Okay, well maybe I'll learn something new today because I do the P in the middle and smoosh.
Nope, because you want to do 9 dots to make sure you get the entire IHS.
Now, do you use the little plastic spatula and
I
spread it
normally
around?
do, but this one is fine. Now I've shown this. We've done a number of step-by-step guides to basically make sure that this shows. But that'll actually cover the entire IHS right there.
Okay.
So you're basically good there. Yes, the 9-dot method. That's right.
Woo!
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so for this one, are we mounting tubes down?
Well, see, that's the fun part. The motherboard's rotated. We got a nice open space. I always like a nice cool loop.
So-
So if you want to rotate it, get a nice little rotation going there, or you
So
want
like
to do it,
this?
it's your mod, your way,
I
man.
feel
No,
like
I'm just
wasn't
saying,
this
I
a
want
very
this-
hotly
so
debated
screen is
topic on the
rotatable.
internet like a year
So
ago?
The screen is rotatable in the software.
All right, so I'm gonna probably go tubes down with it off of this. Well, hey, we got GPU. Is this gonna look okay?
What are you
Yeah,
gonna
that looks like it's gonna
do?
be okay.
I've done it that way, or just with the tubes down or to the side,
Do you
actually.
want
Either
to
way,
cover
we'll be fine.
the screen?
Well, no, the screen. Yeah, let's do tubes down. We also, it looks like we have a USB here, and then this should work well for rotating around. So we'll do this, and then we
Okay.
have our tops, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's your
Mm-hmm.
springies.
There we go. It's in. You want to go ahead and
Okay.
pop springs on.
Yes.
We have officially, you know what that thing, the sad thing is that Core Ultra will not see the light of day for a long time.
Nope.
We're going to be using it, baby. Let's go.
That's the way it should be, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then if you want to do, actually, let's go.
I
let's
don't
not
even
tighten
know.
it all the way yet.
Okay.
So let's do the far right side here.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go.
The corner, so you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
get
so you
that
get even
probably better
pressure.
than I can.
Here, I'll get it started. There we go. Yeah.
You got a better angle on that than I do.
That is definitely true. I do. Oops. This is why magnetic screwdrivers work so well.
Hi, everybody in chat, by the way. We see you.
Yeah, there we go. That one's in.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, isn't it
You shouldn't have to
also
hold anything else in,
isn't
right?
it also kind of hotly debated online?
Now you usually do that
how
corner
tight
to
you
corner
make
method,
these?
so
I
it kind of
do.
holds the pump in there, so you
Yep.
get a nice flat mounting.
There
Yep.
we got one. And yeah, isn't this a discussion on that, Roby? I know you're in these forums more than I am about how tight you or how not
Oh,
tight.
you want to go till it stops. These ones, the
Yes.
cool thing about this one is you just want to go until it stops.
Okay.
One of the nice things about it is that you don't have to worry about a torque or anything. You go
Yeah.
until it stops. We used to have to deal with that though.
Right.
Where like, the torquing, people were bending boards
Yes.
and over tightening, and that's a big thing we talk about is that you don't have to worry about that anymore with these
That's
new
great.
designs.
Yeah, and so the one thing I would say, if you don't go till it stops, you actually have a better, that means you get optimal connection. That's right, optimal connection, exactly. Thank you very much.
Fantastic job, Robbie.
Exactly.
Good. We're good.
We're
It's
good.
in. Removing plastic here.
Okay.
Ooh, you're gonna
yeah.
do the fun part? Ooh, yeah, go for it.
Why not?
Let's do the peel.
Woo!
Nobody got to see it.
Hey, baby.
Okay. Okay, so we should probably jump over to inviting Taylor back, but I want to say a huge shout out to Mike for joining us. Mike, I'm going to give this to you to go finish the whole thing and get it close to, basically, if it doesn't turn on, I blame you. Oh, we should probably put this back together real quick.
We got to kind of put it back together, but we can do that off camera and
Okay.
everything. But either way, I want to say thank you guys so much for letting me be here. I just wanted to come stop by and say hi.
Oh, and Mike, before you go, can you tell everybody if they want to get hands on some awesome ThermalTake products, where can they do that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you guys want to check out ThermalTake, visit us at thermaltakeusa.com. We're also on social media, and we stream at ThermalTake Live here on Twitch.
But
Awesome.
love it. Thank you,
Well, now,
Mike.
guys, before we do that, we actually have, before we get into overclocking, we get Taylor back up here, we actually have an incredible video on overclocking, and it looks like it's going to be Alex, Greg, and Dan telling us all sorts of stuff about AI, about overclocking in general. So let's go and roll that video.
All right, so this is an enthusiast product. So of course we have to start talking about overclocking.
Yeah.
What is new? What does
Yeah.
Arrow Lake bring new to the table, to the overclocking table?
Yeah. Okay. So, we're not really going to talk about, how much frequency.
Yeah,
overhead and that kind of thing.
exactly, yeah.
But we are bringing a ton of new features into how we overclock.
Capabilities and features. See, having a new architecture, the new SoC, a multi-chip design, presents new opportunities for overclockers. So we have a lot of new features. Right off just knowing that we now have multiple chips, how about the ability to overclock the interfaces between the chips that are talking to each other? So we have a new die-to-die overclocking feature that's really exciting. Die-to-die is an interface that is between our compute die and our SoC die, where the memory controller resides. And what's cool for overclockers is now we're allowing you to overclock that interface, creating a whole new opportunity to improve bandwidth and further tune your system. We have a new feature that allows you to configure the processor's overclocked ratios in 16.6 megahertz steps. In fact, they can be larger, but 16.6 megahertz is interesting because now overclockers can move in sub 100 megahertz steps. So now overclockers can configure each core for P cores in 16 megahertz increments, and their E cores, each group of 4, can be also configured in 16 megahertz increments for those top frequencies. So imagine you reach the end, what you thought was the end, because you couldn't go another 100 megahertz up. Well, with this, you might be able to go 16 or 32 or so on to find where that absolute max threshold is for your system. We've got a new dual B-clock architecture. Now, everyone knows about B-clock going back 20 years. There's generally always been a single B-clock input. That's your base clock. Now we have dual B-clock, and that is helping us because you can now have a separate clock frequency for your compute die versus the rest of the chip, the I/O die, memory, etc., which is really important because when it comes to B-clock overclocking, you're always at the mercy of the first subsystem to fail. So by being able to separate that into dual B-clock, you essentially can have one section of the die of the processor at a higher frequency than others. You can have, for example, one external clock and one internal clock, or you could actually control them both internally. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of choice. Now we have the ability to do fabric overclocking on Arrow Lake, another opportunity brought by the new architecture. This essentially can improve the communications within the SoC die itself. And when you're doing memory overclocking, you may choose to overclock the fabric, die to die, and then of course the memory frequency as well to ensure that full bandwidth without bottleneck exists.
We also have something called DLVR bypass. So this is one of the more higher end, sort of higher tech type of features. It lets you totally bypass our automatic voltage control.
DLVR is Digital Linear Voltage Regulator. And it is a new power delivery architecture for desktop processors. And it brings with it some great efficiency benefits. So that power efficiency is there. And it can allow the opportunity for overclockers to essentially have per core voltage. So for each P core, you can have its own voltage, and for each group of 4 E cores, you can configure a voltage for those as well. So it's added flexibility. You don't have to run them all at that same fixed voltage. For our extreme overclockers, people looking to go after world records, that top 1% of all consumers, they can actually bypass DLVR. Again, it's overclocking, it's extreme overclocking. We expect to see that done with like liquid nitrogen, but you can bypass it such that your voltages can go, even higher and enable, those maximum LN2 liquid helium type frequencies. Arrow Lake's new overclocking features are available also within the extreme tuning utility. Specifically, the 16.6 megahertz ratios, the dual B clock, viewing the memory telemetry, and a few settings as well. All these settings can be found in the XTU user interface. So for me personally, one of the things I'm excited about with Arrow Lake really are the new 16.6 megahertz ratios. It's actually hard to pick a favorite, so I'll just also have to say exploring that die-to-die interface, overclocking, and the fabric overclocking as well. And I think for me, on the memory overclocking side, I'm going to get some modules that can run at that 8,000 megatransfer range, but that have headroom so that I can push them a bit further. I'm going to really go after that 9,000 plus range over time, so we'll see what I can do there. But I'm just really excited to really get a handle on and explore these new really customizations that I can make that were never possible on prior generations.
All right. I'm so grateful that we just got that little overview on overclocking. There was so much information packed in there. Taylor has rejoined us again. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
And
You are one of my favorite people now because it's just so good to have somebody who can walk us through all of the stuff that's essentially happening today and all that sort of stuff as well. So I just wanted to send you some human love.
yes, Taylor is our resident expert today.
Appreciate
so
that.
thank you.
Really appreciate it. And you want to know what? It's the best, because honestly, all the technical product stuff, it's the fun stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
new tech is very exciting. And when we're talking about this new tech, I know we kind of talked about it earlier. We just watched a whole video on overclocking using these new processors. So there's so many options when it comes to overclocking. I'll toss this question to you, Taylor, but what's your favorite feature when it comes to overclocking?
I mean, couple things, right?
Okay.
I mean, extreme tuning utility,
Okay.
so you download it, install it in Windows, and it gives you all of the knobs, all the tuning that you need to do. So you don't have to go into the BIOS to make all these manual changes. So it's a much more streamlined way of overclocking,
Well,
right?
and a little bit of a safer way, too. I think a lot of people, when they're new to overclocking, might be terrified to mess with the BIOS.
I mean, it's a bit more of a controlled environment. Here's the knobs you need, right?
Yeah.
And it's a bit simpler, right?
Sure.
So you can go apply the overclocking profile, then go do your stress test, make sure it's good, and then that's it. It's a much more simple way. And then of course, you gotta love memory overclocking as well, right?
Yes.
Especially with XMP and all this.
Now I do want to bring up one thing, right? Because again, a lot of people are just want to be there's confidence with overclocking. This is something you can do with these new processors, right? Like again, you guys have made the announcement. We know that there's none of these issues that were happening that have been fixed with the microcode updates.
Right.
If you want to overclock, you can on Core Ultra Series 2 processors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Of course, overclocking is always, it's like,
Oh, yeah, of course.
at your own risk type
Of course,
thing, right?
we have to give all the disclaimers.
Yes. But yeah, no, it's a great feature of our platform, and and really in particular, there's E-core overclocking, memory overclocking are certainly really good bright spots with this platform.
And then because a lot of times when people think about overclocking, a lot of times they'll think about headroom in terms of thermal headroom. But given these run cooler, that feels like you actually have more that you can have with this case in some places. And the other thing too is it also sounds like you had also talked a little bit about even undervolting, they've seen similar performance as well. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best parts about overclocking. It's being able to, tinker with it, play with it, and of course, I'm going to have to leave it to you guys and everyone else to really find out where the limits of this product are.
Yeah, and I mean,
We're not doing that live on the stream today, by the way.
no,
You know
we're
what? I
not.
would love to see it though.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
you have a lot of confidence with that
trust me,
PC build. You know, I want to see some overclocking confidence too.
And we're very, very excited to actually get our hands on and this is all stuff that we are, you know, again, as people who are influencers and people, we're just now starting to get our hands on it.
Yeah.
This is all stuff you'll see once October 24th hits. But I mean, the thing is that there's also, I mean, again, one of the things that we've also talked about is with memory overclocking, and the new form factor of QDIM. Let's talk a little bit more about that, or CUDIM. But there's some debate. We call it QDIM, but some people have heard it CUDIM. But all in all, like, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So really, this is so you have a normal memory module, and that clock frequency comes from the CPU, the memory controller on the CPU.
Yep.
So the clock goes up, it goes down, in pulses. As you run into higher and higher frequencies, that signal gets weaker, right? So the C in CUDIM stands for clocked. So what it is they're putting a second clock on the DIMM itself to strengthen that signal.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in order to improve memory overclocking stability. So that's really what, QDIMMs, CUDIMs are all about.
Which is actually super cool.
That
right?
is super
and this
cool.
This is new. Like, people
Yeah.
this is not going to be something, I think we saw a number of these that showed up at Computex and all that sort of stuff, but like now, this is something that people will be able to get their hands on and start playing with as well.
Yeah, we always got to push the bar forward, right? Try new technologies. How are we going to get to that next tier of memory frequency and performance? And this is certainly a stepping stone to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before we go too far into anything more, I wanted to let you guys know, let's take a little bit of time. We're going to do kind of a recap because we're literally about 2/3 of the way through the show at this point in time. Why don't we do a recap and just kind of tell people what's going on, what we're here to announce. And then this time, guys, we will look at chat because I feel like it's a good time to see if there's some questions that kind of come into chat. So if there's stuff you guys want to ask, now's kind of the opportunity because we got Taylor up here.
Yep.
You can definitely answer those questions and go from there. So, everybody, welcome to Intel Live. This is a very special edition of Intel Live. We are here at the NRG Castle at the Night Market event. This place is it is now full.
It is, yes.
It is full.
Packed,
there are a lot of people here.
It's made to look like it's nighttime, even though we're in sunny Los Angeles, California. It's made to look like it's nighttime. There's all this cool stuff everywhere. We've got Artists Alley over there where there's local artists selling their works. There's all sorts of fun goodies to nibble on and some beautiful PCs that you can test out right here at the event. So we've got lots of folks here playing around with this new tech. We've got some competitive gaming right next to us over there, so you can hear
They were
the
cheering
oohs
for
and
us,
the
Trisha.
ahs.
They were cheering for us.
You know what, Roby? You tell yourself what you got to tell yourself, my friend. But also, there's a lot of exciting things happening here today. So we're excited about the new tech. There's other folks excited about the competitive gaming. We're also excited about the big cat with the twisty slide that you can get down. It's a very cool spot to be.
It is a very cool.
But honestly, we're so excited that Taylor is here to answer questions, and that is also very cool. So get those questions in chat.
And we're going to go from there. But the thing is that is why we're here. This is not a thing. We don't put Alex off the show in any one moment, right? Like, he's enjoying his vacation, so of course he has big shoes to fill. We got Taylor here to do it. He's doing an amazing job. But the reason we're here to celebrate is Intel on October 10th. We basically saw the official announcement of the Intel Core Ultra 200 S series CPUs. Now we are here giving you guys all the 411 on what those CPUs are, what they do. We've walked through the stack, we've walked through all that stuff. So let's do just a quick recap of, let's show the stack one more time, just go through the different processors, and then at the same time, I'm looking at some of your questions, and then we'll bring those up at the same time for people that have been going in there too. It says right here, we have the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K, that's your 24 thread. And again, these are they're exactly the same as what we saw from 14th gen in terms of
core counts.
In terms of core counts, right? So you've got your K and your KF SKUs for the Intel Core Ultra 7 265K, the KF being no integrated GPU. And then we have the Intel Core Ultra 5 245K and KF. And again, you can see the prices respectively. And again, these are very, very similar to the numbers that we saw for the launch of 14th gen as well, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and and this is a really exciting launch. It's a completely new rebuilding of how we architect and build CPUs. Really,
Yeah.
flagship gaming FPS. The temperatures, on average for gaming, about 13 degrees lower.
Yes.
Could be as high as 15, 17 degrees lower.
Yes.
50 to 80 watts lower. Creator performance, multi-thread performance, excellent. So
Yeah.
15, 19% faster. So really, this is a excellent product. And that's not to say it's the first AI desktop PC for enthusiasts, right?
Yes, well,
yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. Like when we say enthusiast level AI PC desktops,
Right.
what does that mean to the average everyday user? Because I think a lot of people hear AI PC and go, I don't need that. What am I going to use AI for? But really, when you have an NPU as
Yeah.
part of your processing system,
Yeah, it's a new computational engine for running AI workloads, right? We talked a bit earlier about the workload where you're able to do background removal for streaming, and really offload a workload that was on your discrete GPU, move it to the NPU,
yes.
so that your CPU, GPU don't have to, and you get FPS back, right?
Yes.
You get better gaming performance while you stream.
Because like
right?
we'll see AI demos where it's like you can take a picture of yourself and sketch a cowboy hat and it'll look like a realistic cowboy hat. Like, okay, what am I like a
Sure,
neat
yeah.
demo, I guess. But
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, they think NPU and they think that's what that does. But when you start to talk about taking the workload
Mm-hmm.
off your CPU, off your GPU, in tasks that you're doing all the time,
Yeah.
that becomes a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
me at least.
creator workloads as well, right? We've done a lot of work with Adobe, Magix, really these applications that people use all the time,
Right.
And to enable these really cool AI usages. And it's only going to go up from here, right? We're only building out more and more of these usages.
Awesome.
So looking at some people are asking if you're coming off of if you're coming off of 13th, 14th, or even 12th gen, what are some of the benefits of moving from those to the new Core Ultra series processors?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it's really, multiple generations, especially for this 12th gen, multiple generations of bump here, right? So, gaming performance, creator performance, power efficiency, thermals, connectivity like Thunderbolt, so 40 gig USB connections.
Yes.
Really, if you could think about a feature in your PC, it's all better, right? When it comes to the new Intel Core Ultra processors.
And I think that's kind of one of the same thing is like a lot of people, when they think about just upgrading, they'll think, oh, it's just performance. But actually, there's a lot of things that you're getting, like things like Wi-Fi 7, Thunderbolt 4. Even things like memory compatibility, how fast memory can go.
Sure.
All of those other things that you guys do get. And then the other thing too is that specifically with some of these other ones too, like there might be things where, all in all, like because your cooling is less, because it needs less of that overall cooling, that may mean that you can save some money there and actually end up having to you could spend that on a GPU, RAM, storage, because you're not having to buy a high
and also it enables you to build smaller form factor systems,
which
right?
is always good, right?
Yeah, so if you reduce in Ultra 9, it goes up to 250 watts. You can restrict that down to 125 watts. And in our game testing, so it's the 31 titles that we did testing, we see the performance is on par for 125 watts or 250 watts. So if you want to build a small form factor PC, high performance for gaming, there's very minimal difference.
And the good thing is that even under gaming loads, and again, your temperatures are going to be better in that way too for most part. Now let's talk, a lot of people asking questions about boost clocks because boost clocks have come up a lot. Let's bring up that chart real quick and let's just hit the boost clocks because people are asking what the max boost is for each one of these processors. So we can bring up that one more time. Let's talk about the 285K. What's our max boost on that one?
Yeah, so it's up to 5.7 gigahertz.
Nice.
Now the thing is that not all clocks are created equal.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay.
So the frequency is slightly lower than last gen, but one of the important things that we look at is something called instructions per clock. So this is really how much work is the CPU doing on a per clock basis, right? For our P cores, 9% faster. For our E cores, 32% faster. So the frequency comes down a little bit, but the
How
cores are
much you
getting
can
more
actually do
work.
is actually
yeah,
more,
so
yeah.
when we look at real workloads,
And
it's
again,
really great performance.
that's 9%, right? And then that's basically 30-something% on E-cores. But in terms of, let's talk about uplift on single core performance. What does that have been in general?
Yeah, it's high single digits.
Yeah,
for
high single digits and then multi-core
For single,
as well.
15, 19%. And a lot of it's because of those E-cores, right? So even though we got rid of the hyper-threading, we were able to really add just a ton of compute to the E-cores. And really, that's just a better way to create that multi-core, compute. right? It's with the eCores.
And then the other part that's actually very important, guys, if you're thinking about these, the other thing that you actually have the option of is that what you aren't making a decision for here is like a lot of times you'll say, well, this is really good at gaming, but what I'll do is I'll sacrifice multi-core or single-core performance in some regards. This is something where you don't necessarily have to do that. This will be good at all of the things. It's not like you have to choose this just for one particular task, right? So that's the other thing too that you can look at is that this is good at gaming, this is good at single-core, this is good at multi-core, and it does so efficiency. Now, I've had some people ask, and I don't know what you do know. Do we have any performance per watt numbers? Is that something we're not talking about yet, or? I don't know if that's something that you guys have information on, and that might be something we'll get a little bit later.
It's so it's kind of a difficult thing to measure, I would say, because it depends on the workload, right? It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So in a lot of these scenarios, I mean, as we've talked, like gaming, 50 to 80 watts less on average is what we're seeing for like reduction in power draw on the CPU. As far as like performance per watt, okay, well, what do we, as quantified by what for the performance, right?
Sure.
So I think that we look forward. These are really efficient processors, and we look forward to third-party press, testing the heck out of these things.
Yeah, so we don't have any of the third-party press numbers yet. We have to wait patiently for that.
Just got they were at the announcement stage.
Yeah.
There's still many stages
very
still
early,
left to go,
very
right?
early.
Yes.
But I did want you guys to know, right? Like we're trying to take your questions, and what we can't answer, we will absolutely answer. And some things, it's just like there's going to be ways that people will look at it, and then that's where you can look at third-party press sites to kind of figure out what it is. And again, guys, we're telling you. But Intel absolutely, they're sending them to us so we can test and give your own numbers and give our own opinions, and that's just kind of the world that we live in, which is awesome, right? Talk about RGB, what?
Oh, I know. People have been asking us if RGB increases the performance of the new Intel Core Ultra CPUs.
No, I can neither confirm nor deny.
There you go.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That's the official answer. But there you go. If that was a bingo for you folks.
Yeah, another thing came to mind was we're talking about performance per watt.
Okay.
Another thing to think about too is that if we look at like Cinebench 2024, right? Last generation, if we run it at 250 watts and we run the new 285K, the new Intel Core Ultra, at 125 watts, same score, half the power.
That would be double the performance per watt, I would think.
Yeah,
We'll
I mean, in a lot of these scenarios, that it is.
Yeah.
So it is really significant.
Okay, awesome.
And
Well, I
people
can't
are
wait
asking,
to see that when it comes out.
I feel like we're kind of a broken record here. People are saying, what is the performance game? We already talked about that. For single-threaded, it's in the high single digits. For multi-core, it's in the high, it's for, would you say 15 to
19%, somewhere in there, yeah.
Gaming performance is on par with what you saw from the 14900K. So again, I think we've been pretty clear on that in terms of just showing you guys what the performance is from there. And then we talked about boost clocks, which is one of your other questions. Yes, it is true that RGB does boost frames, but the good thing is you can add RGB in all sorts of other ways. So yeah,
Someone just asked how many CPU lanes.
Oh.
How many CPU lanes?
Yeah, someone in chat just said. Sorry, it went away before I could finish the rest of their question. But I believe they were asking, how many CPU lanes in the new
20.
200S.
So there's a couple different ways to look at this.
Sure.
So there's the amount of PCI lanes that come through the chipset, the number that come through the CPU. The CPU has 20 PCI Express 5.0 lanes, and then an additional 4 PCI Express 4.0 lanes, all coming from the CPU. Now, of course, if you have a wide array of M.2 devices and all these things, those can be supported through the chipset as well.
Yes.
But the primary intent behind adding those additional PCI Express 5.0 lanes is that, okay, you got 16 lanes of PCI Express 5.0 for your GPU, and then 4 lanes for that, your primary M.2, for that really high performance PCI Express 5.0 M.2 drive.
Awesome.
Taylor, I have to say a huge shout out. Thank you so much for answering so many questions, guys. We will definitely try and do a little bit more about this later on. The big question that came out was, before we jump in, and we're going to take a look and talk with the fine folks over at CyberPower PC, but the question that I did say, when are these dropping? People are asking, when are they dropping?
So pre-sales started yesterday, and our announcement and all that, but October 24th. 8 a.m. to be exact.
October 24th, 8 a.m.
It's when they're going to start shipping out.
Okay, well, Taylor, we're going to say goodbye to you again for just a little bit.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor. Guys, we really appreciate it. Evan, can we just get some GGs in the chat for Taylor, who's doing his best to answer as many of your questions? Let's just take a look here at the night market as we get ready to bring on the fine team over at CyberPower PC. We got Nam, who's going to be visiting us in just a few. Oh my gosh!
There's Chippy!
There's Chippy! Oh, he looks so good. He's all the way here from the Mod Workshop studio in Seattle, Washington, making his trip all the way down. Thanks to the team at Blue Horse Studios, who basically joined us. So that's so awesome to actually have you guys. There it is, our chippy PC. Yeah, and then CPUs, guys, go on sale on October 24th. But guys, we'll have him back. We have lots more to kind of cover. But yeah, in the short term, we got another powerhouse in the house right now.
We absolutely do. In fact, I saw folks in chat much earlier today asking what's going on with CyberPower PC. So folks, if you've been waiting for this moment,
well, I just got to give this man a hug, because I haven't got to see him in a while. What's up,
we
man?
have Nam from CyberPower PC with us on the stream. Welcome to Intel Live. Good to see you.
How's it going, guys?
It's going super good. Howard, what do you think of this crazy event?
Oh, I love this setup. I mean, everything looks great. That cooler's the best, right?
I know the Trikes cooler, we got it in the back. And so actually, for those who don't know, the Trikes cooler is actually the heart of Chippy. So if you go and look at the Chippy PC, if you open it up, his heart is actually on the Trikes cooler. So that is powered by, and we can see the Juno and the team and all that sort of stuff for supporting us and doing that sort of thing, which was actually super cool. Chippy does say hi all the time.
Now,
so, yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know Nam, can you just tell us a little bit about what you do with CyberPower PC?
I'm basically the director of marketing and branding.
Okay.
But also our market team is the resident gamers of the company. So we all game regularly. We're deep in it.
What are you playing right now?
Yeah, that's
Diablo
the question.
started.
Diablo.
It just started, right? What do you think of the new season?
Yeah.
I literally just created my character yesterday, and then I haven't had a chance to play yet.
Okay, so you're the ones who pretend to get to play. You just like create your character and you'll be like, well, I hope I get a
No.
How funny. Well, that's awesome. Thank you again so much for taking some time away from Diablo and joining us on the stream here today. When a processor like the new Core Ultra 200S series drops, what about that excites you from a brand perspective?
Well, for a brand perspective, of course, whenever there's like a major update to the architecture, that's exciting. Because we always feel like, oh, have we reached a plateau for CPUs? Is it not, not going anywhere?
Is this going to be incremental from here on?
Yeah, exactly. When they say that, oh, this new chip has a 50% efficiency increase, well, that just means like, oh, we just created this huge headroom to grow from here.
Right. Yeah, which is, I mean, again, that's always the fun. That's always kind of the fun part with anything from there. Is like, it's always like, what is new? What can we do? And then at the same time, like, how do you guys prepare for something like that? Did you guys just find out yesterday, or did you find out a long time before? Like, tell us a little bit about the lead up to doing something like this.
Oh, well, for us, of course, we know months ahead. There's a huge amount of testing we have to do, especially, for us, CyberPower PC, our website, we sell nearly every kind of component, right? Motherboards, memory, video cards. We got to test every combination. It's like exponential amounts of combinations we have to test it on.
Yeah. It's so, I mean, this is a beautiful build that you brought with us here today. Can you tell us a little bit about the hardware we're looking at here?
Yeah, so this one here is powered by the Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, specifically the 285K.
Okay. Yep.
And it also got a Z890 motherboard from MSI, 32 gigs of memory, 2 terabytes of hard drive. This is the same system that's being run on the tournament systems over there. So every time you hear them cheering, they're really just cheering for CyberPower.
They're cheering for you guys.
They're cheering for this.
Of course they are. That's what they always do, right? Like they got to be cheering. They got to be cheering for you. And we'll bring up the parts here. We'll bring up the parts list in just a second.
New Intel Core Ultra processors. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. Going in,
there.
and that's all they're doing every time. It's like, yeah, we love CyberPower. So I think that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't understand about when you buy a pre-built PC, and especially something from CyberPower, and I think you hit on that, which is super important, is a lot of times, like people go in there and they might go to like PC Part Picker or Newegg PC Builder, and they'll put a bunch of parts together, and hopefully those work together.
Yeah.
But when they look at something like the configurations and parts you guys do, this is not a small amount of testing. Like when you buy a CyberPower PC, these are very strategic parts you put together. These are parts that you know are going to work together. They've got a ton of tests. Talk a little bit about your testing and what it means when you buy a CyberPower PC from you guys.
Okay. I come from like a long history of gaming and building PCs. I've done it since I was a little kid. So you could say I'm one of those building PC snobs. But I'm old now and
no, you're not.
It's funny that you say you're a home DIY PC build snob, but also you work with CyberPower PCs.
Because once I learned more about this, I realized that it's not as easy as it used to be.
there was a time when we were like, oh man, it was so hard back in the days. You had to deal with interrupts and stuff. But now it's really, there's so much variety.
Yes.
Back then there wasn't a lot of variety. Now you got tons of manufacturers. Compatibility and testing is actually important. Sometimes some memory doesn't work with a combination of motherboards and hard drives. It's like you didn't even realize this could be a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So much of the work is in the research phase before you even buy your components. And to your point, Roby, if you're looking at something that CyberPower PC has already put together, you know that's tested. You know it's going to work out.
And that was something you were talking about. So for each one of these new Core Ultra, whether that's a Core Ultra 9, Core Ultra 7, Core Ultra 5, you guys have put a bunch of testing into this. You know that the parts, the coolers, everything you put together is going to work. And this isn't just something where you said, there was like some nerd like me who's in the back putting the way that this looks like a good PC, this is gonna be great. Like, no, you're like, no, this is gone. So what is that testing, well, like how is it tested? How do you, like, what are some of the things that you guys do?
Oh, so the R&D department literally puts in every combination. Like here's a motherboard, let's try out this CPU, this. We have a big list, got to go through it all. And then, but that's just the initial launch stuff. Every time a Windows update comes, we got to test. We get early access to the image of the the new Windows. We got to test it. Is there a problem? Every new motherboard BIOS comes out. We got to test it.
And what happens if there is?
Then we actually contact the manufacturers. We start calling ASUS, we call MSI.
Okay.
We work with them. We say, hey, we noticed that there was this, and then we work with the memory guys. They go, oh, here's the problem, and we fixed it.
Okay.
So that we try to solve it before it even launches.
Right.
Amazing.
Awesome. And then the other thing too that a lot of people think about is like, yes, every single one of these parts individually come with a warranty. But when you buy it from you guys, there's a warranty in only one place to call if you have an issue, right? Talk a little bit about the warranty on your guys' stuff.
Yeah, so basically every system comes with a 1-year parts and labor warranty, but we have a lifetime technical support, so whenever you have a problem, you can still call us and we'll work it through. That's pretty much it, very basic. We take care of it. Again, like if you do DIY, you got to deal. The worst is that you have to take it apart.
Right.
If it's the motherboard, you're just dreading it. You're like, oh my God, I got to take this whole thing apart.
I know. If it's a motherboard, you might as well do a whole new build.
Okay, so why don't we really quick, bring up the parts list for this PC.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, so going in there and bringing up the parts list so you guys can essentially see that.
Because I want to hear for this build in particular, like what are some key features that were implemented specifically to help the Core Ultra 9 285K shine?
Well, basically, this is what I would say the high-end CPU, right?
Yes.
So of course we want to couple it with some good memory, at least.
Of course.
Ideally 32 gigs, if you're doing browsing.
DDR5.
Yeah, DDR5, highest speed possible. And that's actually a really good thing too, is that, we're able to bring up the memory speed to like 6400 hertz now.
Yes.
Even higher than that if we wanted to. And then the hard drive, it's a NVMe 2 terabyte.
Okay.
Plenty of space for your gaming and stuff like that. The fastest hard drive out there.
Yeah.
Other than that, and the GPU that's at least 4070 and up.
Right.
Something that can handle plenty of gaming.
Just really beautiful high-end specs in that for sure. I also wanted to shout out quickly because I saw a lot of folks in chat asking about the naming conventions for the new Intel Core Ultra 200S processors. And thank you for being here with us for this, Nam. But we went over it a little bit before. And just to review it for chat, Intel is your corporate brand. Core Ultra is your product brand. 5, 7, and 9 are your performance tiers. 2 of the 285 or 265 or 245. That 2 is the generation, so second generation. Then the 85 or the 65 or the 45, that is your product SKU. And then the little suffix there, whether it says K, KF, S, that is going to let you know if it's unlocked, if there's a discrete GPU or you're going to need a discrete GPU, whether there's integrated graphics or not, and whether or not it's a special edition. So for those of you in chat who needed a rundown of that, I hope that answers that for you. And honestly, I'm so overwhelmed looking at this beautiful PC, Nam. And you said this is the PC that they're competing on just next door, correct?
Yes.
So,
super cool.
Last question, and this is always a question to ask. What is, like, when you think about shamelessly plugging your build and brand, what do you think you wish that one question that everybody asked when they said, tell me about CyberPower PC?
Oh.
Good question.
I don't know.
Nam's like, we do such a good job, they all ask the right questions and going from there.
Yeah, I mean, they ask all sorts of questions. I mean, the number one question they're going to ask me every day and out is, when do I get a free PC? That's the most common
Yeah,
question.
I know. I mean, come on. Somebody who does tech and PC influencing, absolutely aware of how many people are like, hey, can I get a new PC and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's we're absolutely true. Awesome. Well, Nam, thank you so much for joining us here on the show and all that sort of stuff, and really, really appreciate you guys bringing us and letting us see the system. Why don't we take another look at the night market here for a couple minutes and just get a good indication. We'll kind of walk around and show you guys a little bit from that.
The night market smells like dumplings now,
it does,
too, guys.
I know,
If
and
we
we actually
could
have people
show
eating
that to
dumplings at the
you
same time.
through the stream, how good the dumplings smell. I know there was like a gaming smell-o-vision thing there for a while. I don't think it ever took off, but if it was, we'd be giving you dumpling smell right now.
So
check it out. It's super cool.
Yeah, we're going to check it out. What we're going to do is we're going to take a 2 to 3 minute break and then show you guys the night market and let you guys kind of see it from there, and we'll be right back after this.
Yay!
What is going on, guys? We are back, and it is time to build the rest of the PC. So here we go.
With this beautiful case
this
that everything just pops right off.
Now, I'm not going to do as good of a job with this as like Mike does in terms of like his whole like
mean, Mike
thing.
is a professional
I know.
at taking this case apart, so it's okay.
We're gonna get this stripped to the point where all we've got to do. So we've got one kind of little section left here.
So folks, this is one of the first live builds in the world using the new Intel Core Ultra 200S series processor. So this is a very big deal, even for someone that builds all the time, like Roby, to be able to build with this new tech on day one is super, super cool.
So there we go. So the only thing, so we're looking inside of this, the only thing that we kind of have left for this is we essentially have
the GPU.
The GPU, right? Like we have our 24 pin, all of our connections are done. I gotta see, because my team was helping with this, we gotta see what the cable management looks like.
Oh, what is your bet? Hold on, do you think it's gonna be great or not so great?
I think it's gonna be good, but maybe not the best I've ever seen.
Like a B minus.
And I promise, guys, before we send this out, it'll get its full complement of Roby. Like again, we just got to. When whoever wins, right? It's going to be absolutely tested, and everything will be really good. So let's go ahead and give it up here.
Okay, that
Take
goes
up our
first.
dust filter.
I love that this case has enough room for a back connector motherboard.
Okay, that's not bad.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
You can't. I mean, like again, you cannot see a lot of cables. There's definitely.
No, that's pretty good.
Well, okay. I give it a solid C here in terms of the.
C. I was gonna say B plus.
Oh no, this is a C for sure. Like we have some cables that are kind of tucked down here. I would definitely do some zip tying to get things kind of cleaned up here. It's definitely clean back in here, right?
Yeah, that looks
But it's
good.
not. It's definitely not. There's definitely some things I would do to make it.
I mean, we could zip tie a bit. There are some things that could be done, but I'm not mad at this.
You know, you wouldn't kick this out of.
I wouldn't kick this
out
out
of bed
no.
for eating crackers. But but the front actually looks pretty good, right? Like when we look at the front from this, it actually looks pretty good, right? Nice clear look and all that sort of stuff.
I love the look of that motherboard.
Yeah.
So nice with the gold accents, really pretty.
So guys, don't worry, we will get Robitech level of cable management in this before it goes to the winner. And again, this PC will be given away as part of a Gleam giveaway that'll go live sometime next week. So, and this will have the giveaway will happen, and then the winner will be getting this PC along with all of the prizes that we'll be doing here from the night market when the product launches on October 24th. The board is not EATX. This is the MSI. Actually, why don't we show the parts that are going
all
inside
the parts
the build?
that are in this build. We've got a nice little graphic we can toss to that shows everybody exactly what's going on.
So there is the build that we're doing in this build today. Why don't you read it off there,
Sure,
Mitch?
yeah. So we are featuring the new Intel Core Ultra 7 265K processor. And of course, we have to pair that with the correct motherboard. So we've got MSI's MEG Z890 Ace motherboard. That's that beautiful motherboard you were just looking at in the black with the gold accents. So pretty. We will be putting in an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 Super here in just a moment. We started things off putting in that WD Black SN850X 2TB SSD. We've got, it looks like 32 gigabytes, I think we put in there.
32 gigs of
G.Skill
6400 mega
Trident
transfer.
Z5 RGB Series 6400 megahertz. We've got the ThermalTake 600 tower mid chassis, as well as ThermalTake's cooler. We've got a nice ThermalTake all-in-one cooler there. That's the TH360 V2 Ultra EX. And for the power supply, we have a 1,000 watt ASUS TUF Gaming PSU.
So all in all, this PC with all of the parts comes in at just around $3,000, which is the build that we're essentially giving away today. A lot of that is because of the Ace motherboard. Again, there's only one. The Godlike is the only one that's kind of above it.
Well, and they haven't come out with the Godlikes yet.
So this is like the top end in terms of the Z890 motherboards in here. Of course, we're pairing this Core Ultra 9 285K with an RTX 4080 Super. So again, for 1440p, 4K, 1080p, however you want to do it, you've got a great gaming system that we're basically doing this.
Really beautiful PC.
Of course we're making sure we're matching all the right parts in all the right places, you know what I'm saying?
And it's going to be super efficient, it's going to run super cool, like that's what these new processors are all about. And I will say, especially if you're someone who does gaming content, maybe you stream and run your game off the same PC, you know you fire up the wrong game and those fans take off and can be heard on stream.
And that's, you don't have to worry about that.
This is going to be a massive improvement. You
and
will
there's
not
a
have
lot
to worry
of
about
RGB, by the way. We have RGB in all the places. So
RGB for
you are
days.
getting mad frames from all the RGB. The other thing too is that somebody had also asked, somebody was also asking, again, we'll have the peels, all that stuff will essentially be done. And the last question that somebody was kind of getting at in here is that, yes, this will come with an OS, Windows will already be set up, all that sort of stuff as
Nice.
well. So this will look and be very good. But we have one part that has not been put in yet, Trisha.
Yes.
We have one part that still needs to be installed
That
inside
big
of
4080
this.
Super,
That
right?
big 4080 PNY Super, and there's our beautiful cable waiting for us right there, ready to go.
Ooh,
It's like they thought of
ah.
where am I going? I'm not going to the right place. I was just gonna leave.
It's so funny because we've got everything so twisted in here. I'm a little upside down.
Well, let's go and
So
grab
will
our
this
screwdriver.
this will be a vertically mounted
It
GPU,
is
but
sort
kind of,
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
an upside down, vertically mounted. This is the first time I've seen this done.
Well, I've got my screwdriver right here, and we're gonna go ahead and remove our slots here.
Do we have a GPU bracket? Because I'm getting nervous now.
We got a what?
Do we
No,
have
we
a
don't-
bracket for the GPU?
Oh, no, you won't need it. Oh, it's
Oh, Roby's confident. You
It's
won't need
because
it.
it's not vertically mounted. It's actually what's called, horizontally mounted because the GPU stands straight up, so there's no sag. Remember, this will be upside down like this.
But that's still
there's
vertically
no-
mounted because here's the bottom of the case. It's just upside down,
Yeah,
like
so we
suspended.
call it an upright GPU. It's
Okay,
that's
all
the
right.
term for it. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there's no sag, and again, it's because it's secured by the PC plates and it has these brackets back here. You don't have to
Okay.
worry about it sagging in that
I'm
regard.
still nervous.
That's okay. You can be nervous. I'm just telling you, as an engineering student.
No, I believe you. This is one of those things I would phone my good friend Roby about to say, am I doing this right? Am I going to break something?
And I'm like, no, ma'am, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
You're good to go. So again, we're gonna pop this out here and get this going. I like how I'm doing this on top of all of the extra stuff right now.
Ooh, ah.
So there we go. And then here it is right here, our PNY. Oh, this is a big boy too.
I know. Well, that's why I'm
And
so
we got it,
nervous.
you're
Like,
fine.
that is a heavy GPU.
Now, the thing is these right here are classed in. So again,
Yes.
you're not have to worry
So between the screws on top and this being clasped into the case, you
You'll
feel
be
confident nothing's
absolutely
going to fall.
fine. So we're gonna go ahead and do our third one right here.
Woo!
Pull that out.
I have seen a GPU dropped during a live build once.
Really?
I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's haunted me ever since.
Like this?
No. Roby. No, they were actually, we were trying to film it so the tower was upright, and they were trying to install it while the tower was upright, and had a
Oh.
little slip of the wrist,
Oh,
and it went down. It was very sad.
oh, you know what would help?
Huh.
Take
do we
that
need?
thing off.
Oh, you still got it. Yep.
And then we just basically line this up like so.
That is a big card.
Yep, it's a big card. But we got to get this little bit, I'm going to switch this around so it's a little bit more
Get some
normal.
leverage there.
Yeah.
And now remember, the release for this is all the way over on the side if we need to.
Oh. And there we go. Okay.
There it is.
I heard that solid click.
Yep.
Okay. So
I heard it from over here.
You heard the click?
Yes.
That was a solid click.
Okay.
So we're in.
Put the screws back in to
There.
hold that in place.
Oh, and it's grippy. There we go.
Beep.
You want to pop that in?
That's what I was thinking.
I think you should go with your initial thought.
Go with my gut.
Go with your gut. Get that in. Make sure it's secure.
I know. Give it a little push and a wiggle.
I got another screw over there.
That's pretty
Oh, there it
secure.
Okay, there we go. And there we go. Okay, now.
I do love the feel of these.
Oh, see?
Yes, I know what
told
you're
you.
talking about.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we gotta have
the cable management.
some cable
Roby's
management.
gotta get it up to
So
Roby
we're gonna
tech
do a
level.
couple things just to make it look a little bit cleaner.
Oh, here's your little plastic spatulas for the thermal
Oh yeah,
paste.
4 cable.
I see.
Of course I'm gonna do.
I see.
You got some of that in there. Now again, guys, for those who are tuning in, you're coming in near the end of the stream, what we've been doing is we've been talking about Intel's new launch of what was codenamed Arrow Lake.
Yes, it was
So
Arrow Lake.
For you bingo folks going on right now, trying to get bingos in.
Yeah, who needs all this stuff? So what was codenamed Arrow Lake is now the new Intel Core Ultra 200S series of CPUs, and they are enthusiast-level desktop CPUs, now with a completely new architecture. So new architecture focused on power per watt leadership. These CPUs are targeting efficiency while matching or exceeding that 14th gen single core and multi-thread performance, but at a very lower, like at a much lower power consumption. So better thermals, better efficiency, same or better performance. That's what we're going for.
And we talked about for single-threaded performance, right now Intel's saying we're looking at just in the high single digits for that.
Yep.
And then for multi-threaded performance, we're looking at the 15% or about that range. They were also talking about for gaming performance.
Yeah.
The other thing that you also said is like at the 150-ish watt range, you can do 250 watts, but at 150-ish watts range, you are still able to see the same level of gaming performance. So again, this is not something where you're seeing a degradation in performance. It's on par from a gaming standpoint, but in terms of single-threaded and multi-threaded lift, Intel is specifically saying that this is a performance uplift when it comes to those particular workloads.
Well, and I feel like it's so important that we mention that too, being that we're at the Energy Spectrum Castle right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we've got a lot of people here watching Intel Live today that are specifically wondering how this is going to work in a PC built for gaming. So that's very important to know. It's also Intel's first AI-ready CPU.
Yep.
With that NPU. So
Desktop,
that's very exciting. And we talked about how, because I know there's a lot of folks out there that hear AI PC and think, not for me, but there are ways that AI can work behind the scenes to take the workload off your CPU, off your GPU, to increase performance overall in the things you do every day.
Especially if you're a gamer. And then especially if you are a gamer and a streamer, that's going to be a place specifically where you are going to see where AI is going to be more helpful. And that's where you've seen some real, he talked about, Taylor talked about specifically using broadcast software where you can offload what used to be on the GPU and see 15% in terms of your frames coming back and stuff like that. Now somebody, JDVR, says, what are the core counts? Let's show those again real quick so we can show those core counts. They are on par with what you sent in 14th gen. So at your Core Ultra 9, you're looking at 24 cores, 5.7 max boost clock, 20 cores on your Core Ultra 7s, and you got 14 cores on your Core Ultra 5s. And again, we are seeing up to 30+% performance boost in your E-cores, and then that was 9, I think you said 9 to 10, I will get confirmation of that, 9 to 10% on the P-cores right now. So again, and that's where the removal of hyper-threading, but again, that improvement in the E-cores is where they're seeing that multi-core performance, which is where hyper-threading used to be most useful for. And in removing hyper-threading, what that's done is that's allowed them to change the overall physical die size of those cores and bring the temperatures down.
Right.
So again, where you're going to save money is, yes, the motherboards and some of those things will be more expensive, but your cooling costs should go down because these things will be much easier to cool. He was saying anywhere between up to 13 to 17 degrees cooler at load for these CPUs. And again, all of these things will be, of course, tested against third-party testers, and you, of course, can find those out. But they are for pre-sale now, and then officially available on October 24th.
October 24th.
At 8 a.m. GST.
No, 8 a.m. Pacific time is when
8
they will
North
officially
Pole
be there.
time.
But pre-orders right now on newegg.com.
So,
also, I don't think we mentioned this in our overview, but we did talk about it with Taylor a little earlier. Lots of options for those of you who are interested in overclocking as well with these new CPUs, and support for super high performance DDR5 memory as well. So we've been kind of shouting out some of those specs, but if you're planning a new build, it's a great time right now. Or if you're planning an upgrade, just know that if you're upgrading to an Intel Core Ultra processor, the 200S series, you will need to upgrade your motherboard as well to the
Not
Z890s.
cooler. Coolers still work. All
Cooler
that sort of
still
thing.
works.
Coolers still work. The other thing too is that also somebody had asked, yes, this is Wi-Fi 7, Thunderbolt 4. All of those things are coming in there. Of course, look at your motherboard, but those are things that are coming with this, and including 20 PCI 5 lanes and all that sort of stuff as well. So again, lots of things to look forward to. We're just at the announcement phase. Lots more coming in the future, but we're celebrating that with this beautiful build that is done.
Yeah, let's pick up the build.
And then we're going to jump over, guys, because you guys saw us build this in a couple hours.
Yeah,
but we're going to see if Newegg can do it a whole lot faster, right?
Yeah, so Newegg is about to start a speed building competition, and get this, folks, they're saying their competitors can do it in 12 minutes.
And there's a lot of caveats.
Wild.
We got to find out about this.
There are a lot of caveats, so we're actually, if they're ready, we might toss things over to them to let you know all the rules and see what's going on with Newegg speed build. Take it away, Cindy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Newegg's speed build contest. We have Wired Hardware here and Ethos competing against each other. They have 12 minutes to build this computer. All the parts are sponsored by MSI. We have a MSI 760 motherboard and a RTX 4060 graphics card. We have some DDR5 memory and a 1 terabyte SSD from MSI with a 650 watt power supply. Okay, I've already explained the rules to these two. They look ready to go. You guys both ready? Hands up. All right, get ready and build. So now they're starting off with the memory, which is a smart choice. I'd like to build my memory, SSD, and any other things outside of the case, because those are the hardest to reach when you have it in your case. And they are following my instructions. A2, B2 is how you install 2 DIMMs. And if you have 4, it's just all 4 slots. So Wired Hardware is putting in his SSD. Ethos here is trying to plug in his RGB connector from his CPU cooler. And by the way, we have the CPU, of course, is the Intel 12th Gen i5 14500K. No, sorry, 12500K. So I got my models mixed. And it looks like Ethos is having trouble with this. Oh, he just got his CPU fan header in and RGB in. Wired Hardware is taking off his panel, and it looks like his CPU cooler is not connected just yet, so he'll probably make sure he does that after this. Ethos is mounting his SSD and looking for the screw to mount that in. This is a little hard because the screw is really tiny, and then with all the anxiety, nervousness, your hands shaking, they'll probably like lose it. Uh-oh, see, I just jinxed him right there. Oh, he's having trouble. So Wired Games popping in the I/O shield right now. So you just gotta, pop it in and just give it a little snug, and then you hear a pop, and it'll be all good. All right. Yeah, all you have to do is snug it in. Yeah, don't go too tight, otherwise you strip the screws. Oh no. Wired Hardware is having trouble with this I/O shield. It might be easier if you put the case flat down, so you have Now, Ethos, I don't recommend doing that because you're gonna have to mount your motherboard first before you mount the graphics card. You're gonna have trouble putting it into your case with the graphics card installed like that. Your Ethos is catching up. Oh, they're almost tied now. Yes, finally. Wired Hardware is putting his case on the side so it's easier to install that way. Make sure, you line your motherboard with the 9 screw slots. Glass panel is off on Ethos. He's taking my advice, putting the case flat down to install the I/O shield. I recommend installing the I/O shield first, Ethos. We had a contestant here that installed her motherboard And unfortunately, she didn't put an I/O shield in, so she had to uninstall the motherboard to put that in, because it's the only way to get it in is with your motherboard out. And it's easier to install from the inside. You pop it in. Yep. It's a little loose. You need to pop it in on that side, otherwise you won't be able to mount your motherboard correctly. Looks like Wired Hardware is having a little trouble with the motherboard screws. The motherboard screws are the little tiny circular ones, in case you're wondering. Is there an issue? Oh, he lost a screw behind the motherboard. Oh, that's no good. No pressure, but Etho has caught up to you here. He's told me he's only built his computer, what, 4 years ago? It's a pretty close match right now. I think, looks like Etho's having a little trouble lining his motherboard to his I/O shield because there's a fan cable that was blocking it. Uh-oh, Ethos. Wired Hardware is putting on his second screw onto the motherboard. Oh, I know why you're having trouble. Your I/O shield is backwards. You need to flip it over. Yeah, that's why you couldn't align your motherboard. You have to pop it out, flip it over. Flip it. No. Flip it. Yeah, like that. No, you're right. There. That goes in that way. Now you have an easier time putting in your motherboard. Wired Hardware is almost done screwing down his motherboard. You're very far behind now. See, the I/O shield is very troublesome. Are you on your last screw? Oh, he's on his, no, two more screws. It's okay. He's having trouble with his I/O shield now. Just go in from the inside and then you just tap it. Wow. This is almost like a good-looking computer coming on here. So, yeah, still having trouble. I think you got it. Pop. I used the palm from the palm and press it in. Wired Hardware is taking out his back panel, getting his PSU ready to install. We need like a towel person over here. No breaks here. All right. Wired Hardware is he's looking for his USB 3. And to install a USB 3 is just straight in once you find the port for it. The pins are very fragile, so you don't want to come in at an angle. It's straight in. All right. Almost there. Your fan cable is kind of in the way. I can see that in the way. You're going to have a hard time there. We are now almost 7 minutes. And Wired Hardware is doing pretty good. I think he can do it. Now, this is the hardest part. So I didn't tell these guys my trick on doing this under 12 minutes is I would install the front panel connectors outside with the motherboard, then drop it in because it's very tiny and it's very hard to install it when you have the motherboard mounted into your case. Almost there. Seven minutes and 30 seconds, guys. All Wired Hardware needs is left is plugging in his cables. Oh, and don't forget the audio cable too. Okay, how many screws do you have left? 9 still. Oh boy. You can take your time now, Wired Hardware. As long as you have one RGB in, you're good. I think you had it with the CPU cooler, if not already. Turtle in the hair. Yes. Are you the turtle? Very slow. I think if you had like maybe an hour, you could probably build this computer. Let's see, where is Wired Hardware at now? He's getting all his cables and putting in his PSU now. Etho's still working on his motherboard. Looks like the 6 screw, looks like. Unfortunately, this is a non-modular power supply, so you have all these cables that gets in your way, but it's smarter than to, yes, put the power supply last, because if you put it in first, then you have all this cable in your way and it'll be harder to build. Uh-oh, he lost a screw. Let me get a flashlight. Got it? All right. Power supply is almost done over here. Motherboard almost done yet. 2 more screws. So it is almost 10 minutes. Can Wired Hardware do this in 2 minutes? He's almost done. What's going on here? Are you complaining about the motherboard? Almost mounted. Okay, motherboard is almost mounted over here. And he used the wrong screw. What? You have to use the little circular ones. Yeah, if you use those, it's too big for it. So yeah, so Ethos was using the K screws, was normally used for the power supply. The motherboard screws are the little circular ones, which of course is in the diagram. Time is it? So you guys have about 1.5 minutes yet left. 1.5 minutes. GPU, if your motherboard's in, you can put in your GPU. It goes in there, and then there's 2 screws for the GPU. They're colored yellow, makes it easier for you guys. It looks like Wired Hardware is having trouble with the CPU auxiliary power here. That is a little tough. I do recommend maybe installing the 4 pins separately. It might be easier instead of doing the full 8-pin. That one, yeah, you have to push the back panel in just a little bit. Well, I'm surprised Ethos has kind of caught up. He has his GPU in already. But he still hasn't connected all his connectors. So he's still a little behind. All right. So where are we at? We have 15 seconds. 15 seconds. From the back, because there's a shroud. So you have to, did you unmount the side panel, the back panel? Yeah, you have to unmount that too. It goes from the back. You still have to connect it. All right, 12 minutes, guys. He called time, but it's totally 12 minutes. Very close. You're disqualified. You didn't even mount this. If I was a customer getting this computer, I would be very disappointed. But Ethos, nice try. Nice try, Ethos. Nice try. Wired Hardware is still at it. Do we still want to give him more time? It is pretty hard. It took me 20 minutes for the first time. And because I'm more familiar with this, I was able to do it under 12 minutes, but it is very difficult. But you guys did pretty good, though. Well, maybe. Questionable here. Let me give you guys the, everybody is still a winner. You guys will walk away with one of these PC mats. So this PC mat is designed to teach you how to build your own computer. Yeah. Give me 1 second, I'll grab the mats. Can you grab 2?
All right, everybody, how did we do?
Okay, we know how they did, and so number one that's like, I think nobody actually finished in the amount of time. They got close, but they didn't actually finish.
But Wired Hardware was the winner.
But Wired Hardware was the winner, which was actually super awesome, which is actually really cool. So that was actually really neat.
And it's hard to build very quickly and under pressure.
But to be super clear, I have done it multiple times. One time while doing the hot chip challenge, and at the same time doing the build
Wait,
against
so you're eating
Eric
hot chips?
with Eric at iBuyPower at the last creator challenge.
Hilarious.
And I did win. And so the thing is, I'm just saying, there are people. I think the next competitor is Mike from ThermalTake, Mike, who said he's ready to do.
Mike can build very quickly as well.
I believe in him. I believe in him.
So we're gonna have to see how that goes.
But also, I want Taylor's expert opinion on how we did with this build. Should we turn it on?
Hey, it looks great, honestly. I mean, I'm still seeing a little plastic here on the front of the glass, so you're gonna have to.
Why don't you do the honors, my man?
Taylor, you want to do the honors?
Goes right here in the center.
All right, let's go.
Here we go.
The peel.
Oh no, we got to turn it on first before the peel.
Oh, good point.
You got to turn it on before you do the peel. So go ahead and turn it on, Taylor. Right here in the center.
All right, let's do it. All righty. Which screen are we looking at for a post?
Okay, you got to do the peel slow, Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get it.
Yes. Oh, don't tear on me.
Dun, dun, dun.
2 arms.
There we go.
So I don't believe we have a monitor here to plug it into, but all fans are spinning, all lights are on. Looks good to me.
I'm looking for the green light.
Postcode looks decent.
There we go. We got one more to peel. We got one more to peel.
That's for you, Roby.
That's
that
for me
was
right there.
that was
There's one more to peel, though.
I couldn't get it. I wondered if it went with the middle one. I don't see it on there.
Is it not on there? Oh, there's not. Okay, let me see. I want to see what the board.
Yeah, what is the board
The board is
telling us?
posted. The white light right there at the bottom under the 4, it is posted right there. You can see that white light. There's no red light. There's nothing like that. There it is right there. The board is posted. The crowd went wild when they realized that. This is a posted build.
It's beautiful.
Right
and
there.
yes, the screen on our all-in-one is sideways. That can be rotated, so don't
It
you
is
worry.
posted, yeah.
We did the thing up high.
Yeah, that's right. We did it.
Killed
we did
it. Good job, everybody.
Okay. So, guys, what we have right here is the first West Coast LA built NRG first Core Ultra PC build, 200S series PC build done in front of a live studio audience at 6:04 p.m. on October 11th. That's what world first right now.
It does look gorgeous, and in case you missed it, Roby is going to be giving one of these away. This exact one.
This one away.
In the future. Giveaway is not live now, but there are giveaways live right now. How's everybody doing with their bingo?
I think people have really dug bingo. Guys, let's go and bring up the bingo stats for people wondering. 447 bingos.
That's a lot of bingo.
536 people waiting to basically have 4 square in a line with a total of 736 players waiting to basically who are playing right now concurrently. So those are all the people playing bingo. Again, bingo was something that you could, as you were watching, going through there. Now you might be saying, I'm not in the US, Canada, and Mexico.
Right.
I still want to win PC builds.
Yeah, what about me, Roby?
What about me, Roby? Well, guys, 2 things. One, if you're watching and tuning in too late, we will be giving away this. Hold on, guys.
What are they looking for?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna end it in just a second. Hold on. Let's get the camera up here. Do we got a camera?
Oh, for bingo,
we're gonna
folks.
do bingo. Hold on. Come on, one there. What's this? There we go.
My goodness.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Is he going to drop?
You see it? Roby dropped the screw. There it is. I dropped the screw.
I see so many folks in chat so excited that you just dropped the screw.
He dropped the screw right now. It's so good to see a screw got dropped on the show.
Congrats to everybody that just got bingo. Just to refresh your memory, if you got a bingo, you are entered to win one of very many cool prizes that we're giving away today. I believe winners will be announced when?
We're gonna close bingo in what? We're closing bingo now. Bingo is then closed. Yeah, so hopefully there you go. Bingo is now closed. Now, guys, what we're going to do while we wait for the bingo winners, let us recap with our man Taylor, the Alex stand-in, but yet more beautiful, not as buff. But there we go. Alex stand-in.
You know, you don't know as
You don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's
You don't know
decent,
that.
decent,
Wow.
you know?
Okay, we're going to have to, there it is. Okay, Taylor has thrown down the bench pressing competition between him and Alex.
Yes.
There
On
it
a
is.
future Intel
On a
Live.
future Intel Live. It's happening, so we got to get that going, Sarah. Okay, but in all seriousness, what has just happened today, Taylor? Why are we here? Why are we celebrating in this crazy place where everybody cheers me on all the time?
Yeah, I mean, this is our launch for the Intel Core Ultra 200S series, you know, a brand new kind of processor that has, I mean, really great performance. I mean, we're seeing 15 to 19% uplift multi-thread. Gaming is about the same. You know, it's on par for gaming, but the power consumption, 50 to 80 watts lower. Temperatures, 13, 15, as high as 17 degrees less this gen versus last gen, which really means that in scenarios where you were thermally constrained, you know, your gaming performance will be higher, right? You can build in small form factor systems because these processors are so much more efficient. Of course, this is our first desktop enthusiast AI PC, right? We have all these new accelerators, right? We have the Arc, I should say, it's similar to Arc. Integrated graphics has a lot of these really cool encode, decode features. Then, of course, we have the new NPU, which we talked about how great that is for streaming. So it's really, you know, when it comes to the package, this is the whole package, right?
And that's the thing, guys, is this is not one where you're going to have to choose. Do I game or can I do everything else? No, you can do it all with the CPU. And the other thing, too, is you can do it more efficiently. And the other thing, too, is we've got really, really good improvements to how the architecture, how well it cools. On top of that, you've got full overclocking. You can do AI overclocking if you want to. I mean, there's a lot of things to discover here, and you get all of the new technology that comes with Z890, Wi-Fi 7, Thunderbolt, basically so PCI 5, multiple, like so much stuff that you guys get to play with, and all of that is available for pre-order now, but goes live for sale
October 24th.
October 24th, 8 a.m. Santa Claus time.
Pacific.
Oh,
then.
that's
Pacific.
Pacific.
But also pre-orders are open right now on newegg.com, so go check them out.
Yeah. And so it does all that stuff as well, guys. And again, you guys will be able to see, of course, third-party reviewers are getting their hands on their chips. They'll start formulating their opinions and stuff like that. Things to note that we wanted to show you when you're doing a PC build. Z890 is the only thing that's new, right? DDR5, you can still use the same DDR5. Cooler, you can still do the same cooler. PSUs, you can still do the same PSUs. GPUs, you can still do the same GPUs. And NVMe drives. And you need less cooling, right? If you want to. And you don't always have to be big and beautiful like the Tower 600. You can do it in small form factor.
But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being big and beautiful.
There is
you know
nothing wrong with being big and beautiful. That's right.
It is a gorgeous PC. I'm excited for whoever wins this.
So this is going to be absolutely awesome. And again, for prizes, guys, we're going to bring up here the winners for the bingo in just a few minutes. But I do want to show you guys what we gave away today as part of the bingo prizes. So we're going to bring up that graphic in just a second. Wow, look, we look really good there. Guys, we are like, we could be Charlie's Angels, but it's like Sarah's Angels. Like that's what you're looking at here. Here's what you do. So if you were playing along, prize one was an Intel Core Ultra 9 285K with the MSI Carbon Wi-Fi Z890 motherboard, if you are that first place winner. If you are that second place winner, you win an Intel Core Ultra 7 plus that MSI Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi Z890 motherboard. And then we have 3 Intel Live swag kits as well.
That do include Chippy.
As well. And then, of course, we also have that Falcon Northwest worldwide giveaway that's available to everybody who hasn't played bingo. And then we also have the Gleam giveaway for this beautiful Tower 600 that Taylor licked. So you could potentially clone Taylor.
I'm sorry, Taylor.
You could clone Taylor by getting this PC built. So
it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, luckily you've got AI PC, so maybe you could use all that compute power.
Could be. You know, I'll start working on it tomorrow.
Yeah. So there we go. And then people were going with Chippy and all that sort of stuff. So we're just waiting for our winners going in there. We're just kind of putting our graphic together.
Winners. We're just as excited to hear who won as all of you are.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know who our winners are.
Now,
you know what? While we're waiting for
let's do it. Yeah. What do we win? What should we do?
I was going to say, while we're waiting for that, folks, if you enjoyed Intel Live, You're like,
Yes.
this is fun. I want to hang out and watch more Intel Live.
So that's the thing, is Intel Live is actually a regular show that we run on a constant basis. It's almost every Friday.
Okay.
It starts at noon Pacific time at twitch.tv/Intel or twitch.tv/Robitech. That's where we do stuff. We have guests like Taylor, myself, and Alex, and the Overlord Sarah are there all the time. We play, thank you. I'm really glad you were excited
Sarah's
about that. Thank you
amazing.
very much for cheering us
It's
on.
true.
Yeah. But also, I mean, the great thing is we play the latest games. We talk about the hottest techs. You will see new Intel Core Ultra 5, 7, and 9 builds on there, of course.
Yep.
We're talking the latest Lunar Lake, which, oh my God, beautiful mobile
Great.
chip. And then on top of that, we do your favorite topics, and we show the latest hardware and all that sort of stuff, which is really great. So you never want to miss that. Plus, awesome giveaways. And Alex cosplays. He cosplays almost every show.
Wow, who's
Yeah.
he cosplay?
So he plays as usually the gamer. So like if we did like Cute Cuddly Carnage, right?
Okay.
Like he basically did some Cute Cuddly Carnage.
Gory Cuddly Carnage.
Yeah, for Gory Cuddly Carnage. For Final Fantasy 16, he dressed as one of the characters. For
Nice.
Thrones Liberty, Thrones of
Throne of
Liberty,
Liberty.
he actually had a broadsword with a full metal. It was like crazy.
You know
So
what? I'm impressed.
I'm just saying. So there's that. Plus, on top of that, you also can get all of the latest Intel news over at discord.gg/Intel. That's where we have folks like Taylor, Alex, Sarah, and others who are there. You can ask questions about your favorite Intel hardware, talk about builds, all that sort of stuff as well. So a great place to hang out and get all of that information at the same time. So, but if Taylor, if people wanted to get more from you, right? Like, what are some of the other things that they can see if they want to get more Taylor? And not Taylor Swift, like
where
Taylor,
can
you,
they
Taylor.
follow you online?
Yeah, can they follow you
Oh.
online or anything like that?
No, unfortunately not.
He's like, nope.
Yeah.
This is the only time you get
That's
to see
it. You
Taylor
gotta
right
come here, you know?
Discord.gg/Intel is
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
need
rare-
to go
rare
if you want more
commodity.
Taylor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a rare commodity. This is where it's happening right now. This is the only time you get to see Taylor. Taylor's not real. Not real.
After this,
We don't know.
Who knows? Roby / Trisha Hirschberger. I also am on all the other social medias pretty much at that girl Trish, but girl is spelled incorrectly. So it's that GRL Trish. And that's in
Okay.
all those other places. But yeah, come hang out sometime.
Come hang out sometime. Okay, guys, so now we are getting ready to announce the winners.
Do we have them?
Oh, no, hold on. We're finding out. We're finding out something just happened.
Oh, did the stream go offline?
Somebody
We're
said-
back.
Oh, it's back.
We're back.
Okay, yeah, that was weird. Okay, we're
Hey, we're
We're good, we're
back. But I want to hear where we can find Robitech. So the quick version.
good. Okay, so yeah, what?
People said, but I still want to hear where I can find Robitech.
Oh,
so that might
yeah,
have been
so
where
you
we
can
went
find
out.
me over at Twitter or anywhere at Robitech, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, all of those places. I'm the opposite of
You
Mr.
make it
Taylor.
easy.
We're literally everywhere.
You
At
make it
Robitech,
easy.
yeah, we do.
And for
what
me,
about you?
Trisha Hirschberger on YouTube and Twitch, or that girl Trish on everything else, and girl is spelled wrong. So it's that GRL Trish on all the other stuff.
That's absolutely awesome. Okay, hopefully we're close to announcing our winners. We're putting it all together. We're going to be doing that in just. So yeah, going from there. Okay, so all in all, when we think about at the very end, if you've just tuned in, I'm sorry you've missed the entire stream. Number one, that is the sad part.
You're late if
You're
you
late.
just tuned in, but that's okay. We still got you.
We still got you. We are here at the NRG Night Market
Yes.
in Los Angeles at this amazing event to celebrate the launch of the Intel Core Ultra Series 200. Now, this is not it. There is more stuff that you guys can tune
there
in and
is.
watch as well, right? Like
Yes,
Valorant?
there's a Valorant stream coming up right after this. It's actually happening just next door, right here at the Intel Night Market, which, as Roby said, is taking place at the Energy Spectrum Castle here in downtown Los Angeles, California. That's where this extra special episode of Intel Live, celebrating the Intel Core Ultra 200S series CPUs. That's where this is happening from.
It's an absolutely crazy time. Okay, so yeah, guys, it'll come back. We're having, so go. Okay, guys, just because we don't want to have you stick around and we don't want to lose the stream anymore, guys, what we're going to do is check your emails. We're going to announce our winners via email. We did choose the winners. The winners are all back in there. Guys, don't worry. Look for your email. We're going to be seeing those emails out very, very shortly. So, guys, we have one more stream that's starting in just over 30 minutes, right? So 7 p.m. is when the next stream is basically happening here at the NRG. Sorry about the network issues. We don't know what's going to happen, but B, check your emails, and we'll go from there.
Check
Anyway,
your emails. Good luck, everybody.
good luck, everybody. Anyway, guys, that is it for us here at Intel Live. We hope you enjoyed this show, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Thanks so much
Bye,
for watching.
guys.
Bye.